Let's go! Yeah, good day, everyone. How are we doing today? How are we doing today? Hopefully, you're doing well. It was a beautiful day outside. Just gorgeous outside. It's crazy out here. It's freaking crazy out here. I don't be understanding sometimes, but it is what it is. People just be wilding out, saying crazy stuff. Get out of here. They be saying crazy stuff. Let me see. Let me add this lady too. What up, good people? How we doing? Make sure y'all come in, hit that like button. Let's hang out with each other. We gonna do the damn thing. I can't believe what's going on. What's up, Win Time? Good to see you. What's up, Myrie? Hey. What's up, Dawn? How you feel? What up, Kills? Good day, man. Hopefully y'all enjoying this beautiful weather outside. It's so gorgeous and it's not too hot. It ain't, just it's right before it gets a little hot. But we like to. What is going on? American Eagle, you gotta come to the front of the congregation. Do we have a problem with it? Thank you, Young. What's up, Young Drip? I think it's just interesting, man. I think it's interesting. I've seen so many people was talking about it, acting like people are tripping over the wordplay of the things. And then when simple, all she got to do is a nice looking black woman come with her nice jeans fitting on nice and curvy, make you want to she had white folks all up in the goddamn commercials. So I don't know why Piers Morgan, I don't know why Megyn Kelly was so upset. Can somebody please explain to me why was they so upset? Can somebody explain it to me? Do y'all feel a certain way that American Eagle did that with the jeans? I want to know. What is your thoughts on that? What's this man's name? Somebody, I don't even know how to find that guy. Let me see. How about this? Nope, didn't find her neither. Okay. I'll find it later. I'll find it later. Let me see. Young said no. She's a brunette? But I did find it highly interesting, to say the least. Because I just didn't understand like why so many conservatives and all these things was trying to act like they didn't understand why people so up in arms about this new commercial, this new ad. How we not understanding what it means and how it looks? How we not understanding that? I see all these black conservatives as black. How they make it seem like black folks is jealous of a blonde hair, blue-eyed person. Like black women is so jealous of a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman, a young one that looks okay. She's not even like she's short. She ain't got no shape. Like come on, it's wild to me. And so the wild thing about it to me, right? So like the good genes part. That's not just a pun. That was what how you pronounce that word? A Freudian slip in denim. You say good genes. We hear good genes, right? And suddenly it's like giving like this Aryan catalog vibes. All they had to do was turn her initials, the SS, into two goddamn thunderbolts. That's the only thing that was missing from it. That was the only thing missing from her names. You know, her name is what? What's her name? Sydney Sweeney, right? You turn them S's into thunderbolts, and now we got now we understand what they meant by good genes and the whole Aryan code, goddamn. And they act like we don't see them playing in front of our face. And I think it's just a little wild. It's kind of crazy in this day and age that they still playing along with this race baiting thing, and I think it's disgusting, to be honest with you. I think it's also disgusting that these black conservatives try to act like they don't see it and they don't understand it. I think that is wild to me. How you want to act as if you don't see that these people is playing in our face? They don't allow nobody else to do this craziness. Huh. You know, Sydney Sweeney's like her beauty is praised as a genetic perfection. Look, she's gorgeous to that standard, but you know, that's fine. But when the ad starts sounding like a eugenics brochure and it starts to be less Vogue and more Mean Kempf spring collection. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't know your history. I don't know if y'all know what Mean Kempf is, but that is the mustache man's manifesto. And that's what this ad was about. This ad was a play on words, and it was not. I don't think it's cool, to be honest with you. It ain't right. Something ain't right about that, and we should not allow it to be that way. And for some reason, it's when I be seeing these things, I just don't understand like how people don't get on one accord on something so negative. How are we not coming together and say, hey, bro, you need to change that. You need to apologize. You need to take that down. That's just ridiculous. What's missing? What's up, Davey Dex? So, beloved, I do not believe FUBU and saying for us, by us is the same thing. I don't even think it's close, beloved. I would love for you to explain to me how it's saying I made this for us and it's made by us the same as saying, hey, we are a superior human being. Blonde hair, blue eyes is superior. We know what the mustache man was trying to push. We know what he was trying to push. What's up, HT? What up, DJ? So, beloved, how would you say that is the same as saying, hey, look, genetically, blonde hair, blue eyes is good genes versus, hey, we made this for us and we made it and it's made by us. Beloved, tell me where's your correlation with that? I would love to hear your example of that. I think Beloved is always honest, so I want to hear Beloved's thought patterns on this. I hear you, young. So, Beloved, catering to your specific group, saying, we are cowboys, and we doing an ad for cowboys is different. Doing a ad strictly for black folks and saying, hey, black people made this, and black people, and we made it for black people is completely different than saying that we are going to birth out every other race in the world. Because that's what eugenics is. So it's not about catering to saying, hey, look, I made this. I look like you, you need to support me, versus being superior, because that's what eugenics is. Because literally, that's what it was all about. Beloved, do you not know who the mustache man is? Do not know what the mean Kempf manifesto is? Are we gonna act like we don't remember history? Is that what we're saying right now? So, in my opinion, beloved, I don't believe Fubu was saying that you can't wear it. It was saying that it was made for us and it was made by us. I think that is completely different. Now, if other people want to take it that way, then they could take it that way. However, it's not saying that we are going to breed out all other nations and races and make sure it's only ours out there. And that is the difference between the good genes and for us, by us, in my opinion. I don't see how you don't understand but you know, it is what it is. And I dropped the link if you want to come up and we can have a conversation so we could deep dive into it some more, because I like your perspective. And like, we understand that America has an obsession with this ideal beauty. We go from look good in genes to your DNA is superior. That escalated faster than a goddamn Karen at Trader Joe's. And the as aesthetic, blonde, blue-eyed, all-American. It's like a photo, it's like a Photoshop the 1950s into the 2025. You have expected genes to come with a goddamn purity test. Like, come on. You good, beloved? You all good? Talk your talk, beloved. Long as we having a good conversation, you all good, beloved. You always show me good love, gave me good pushback. So when you agree with me, you agree with me. If you disagree, you disagree. It's all good. You don't got to be afraid to speak your mind. That's what's up, young. Just state your thoughts. It's all good. HT, that's an interesting point of view as well. That's very interesting as well. And so, you know, like them using this whole situation as eugenics in fashion, right? Eugenics is used to be about breeding ideal humans. That's what eugenics is, beloved, just in case you forgot. Eugenics is about breeding the ideal human. That's what it was about. Now it's about skinny jeans. That's what you're saying? With a side, just a little side up white supremacy right in your face. It is not like we're going to buy the jeans and that, but it's the fact that they playing in our face and we acting like it's okay. We should not allow them to just be like, not in 2025. Like, nah, we're not going backwards. I understand it's Make America Great Again. I understand we got the red hats and all that. I get it. However, nah, we ain't going back. We outside. Absolutely not. We outside. What's up, Miss Jalen? How you doing, beautiful? And I'm not for it at all. And American Eagle's defense was just a pun. And that's how we know it's something wrong with it, beloved. It wasn't saying, hey, we made a mistake. No, they said it was a pun. They was playing on those words. So it wasn't just, hey, what's up, Corinne? Thank you so much for showing me love. What's up, Corinne? It's not a mistake, beloved. So when Fubu said for us, by us, they didn't have to say, oh, that's a pun. No, they said, hey, we finally got something that we made for us. And it's made by people that look like you. That's what that was supposed to mean. So you got to have some pride in it. That's all. That's what it's supposed to be about. Not, yeah, Columbus just discovered America. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. You know, Twitter was on their ass too. So, you know, like, I think it was interesting. And so the fact that that they in this day and age like not having an understanding of what America is, right? So like the problem is also B Love. I don't know if B Love is still in the building, but another problem is that we start to understand that they are not the majority in America anymore. So I think it's interesting that they decided now to start saying things like this. Word, what's up, Mel? You were just talking about it. What's your thoughts on this, Mel? I want to know what's Mel's thoughts. Do you think that is an overreach? Do you think American Eagle was testing the waters? Do you believe that American Eagle was trying to be controversial so we can have these conversations about it and have this play on words? What is your thoughts on it, Mel? Do you think that American Eagle was wrong for trying to promote eugenics through genes, so to speak? I don't know about that, HC. You might have to send me some of that information. I have no idea about that yet. I gotta look into some of those things. You know what I'm saying? I gotta know what I'm talking about. But I do know that this whole idea of good genes in a country where what they did to black women and indigenous people, it's not. I don't think that was a really good idea. It was insane to me. She didn't, at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily the actress fault, Sydney Sweeney. I don't think it's her fault. I don't know if she should actually speak up about it or not. What's up, Renee? Good day. Good to see you. And for her, she might have been just taking a photo shoot that she was just having she's getting that check, and it's American Eagle. She's trying to get her thing at doing her act thing. I don't know what she does. I don't think I ever seen what movie she's in. I don't recognize who she is or her name. And so I don't know if we should blame it on her. She might have just been modeling. And then they took it to a whole new level, put her in the blue jeans, and they said, yeah, we could play with the words. They dyed her hair blonde. She got blue eyes, and maybe that's all American Eagle's fault. Maybe she had nothing to do with it at all. We even know the name is American Eagle, right? When American Eagle started making commercials, I thought they went out of business. So Renee said it was all a distraction. HT Ball 1, he's saying the same thing. It's all the distraction. I don't know about these distractions. I think things happen and we tend to, I don't think those distraction things really play as much as we think it does. Like it doesn't matter if we talk about Epstein or not. The powers that be, they the ones that got the files. It don't really have nothing to do with the people. The people don't really control most of those things. Only thing we can do is talk about it, but the people that has the power to do something, they're gonna do whatever the hell they're gonna do, regardless if we mad or not. So I don't really believe in this whole is to distract us from stuff. I don't know. Kills, you's a nut. He's a nut. And I think, at the same time, if I was something, maybe she should say something because, like, when your face is being used to sell genetic superiority, that's crazy. If you didn't know about it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can say something about it. Maybe say something besides thanks for the likes. Thanks for the check. And the real issue that I have with it is the coded language, right? And the good genes, it has been used to justify everything from segregation to forced sterilization. So when it pops up in this ad, people aren't just being sensitive, they're being informed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what happened not too long ago. That's the real problem. What's good, Victim Hearts? Tezzy K, good day. And it's not about that, black folks, we buy their jeans in the first place. You know what I'm saying? We're not really into American Eagle from what I understand. I get it. But the fact that they trying to push that out there, the name is American, like that coded language is not cool. It looks cheap. I feel you, Mel. So my real issue with it was the coded language, to be honest. Good jeans should be about denim, not Darwinism. You feel me? Good jeans should be about goddamn denim, not Darwinism. Otherwise, you're not selling pants. You are selling propaganda. And selling propaganda is a very dangerous and slippery slope. And that's a real issue for, I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy to me. And then I think it's also kind of crazy that right after, a couple of days later, I don't know how long after, but all of a sudden, Piers Morgan, Megyn Kelly, they all getting at Beyonce for all of a sudden. I think that's weird as hell. Why is that? Bubba, what the hell you wearing? Renee said, I ain't even look at it twice. I ain't know what the hell everybody's so upset about. I feel you. That is a very good point, Winchan. You know, Fubu wasn't even around. It wasn't so at the time. It wasn't so high, and I think it's also weird when you hear people and people say things like that. Like, right, you compare something from Fubu from 30 years ago, damn near, and you compare it to something that just happened a week ago. Like, Fubu ain't trying to do that now. It ain't no clothing line now that's doing this. That was a really good point, Winchan. Excellent point. Like, why are we talking about Fubu that happened 20 something years ago? And why are we trying to act like it's even close to the same thing? It's not. It feels like 1994. Look, we know what it's all about. Bubba got his pair of American Eagle on right now. Right now. And then so now we have Piers Morgan talking about Beyonce stole Marilyn Monroe's look. What y'all, how y'all feel about that? Let me do a poll. Did Beyonce steal Marilyn Monroe's look? Okay, Softman United. I hear you on that. Hold on. Let me do a poll. That's what happened. I promise you it ain't me. I promise you it ain't me. That's what Piers Morgan said. Apple bottom jeans with the boots with the furs. Let me see. Let me start a poll. Let me see. Did Beyonce what she do? Did Beyonce steal? No, that's the wrong kind of steal. Steal Maryland. Let's see what the people say. I don't even know if I spelled Marilyn Monroe's name right. I don't know. What up, talking to Kim folk? Nah, kill somehow she did get lighter. Boy, if you don't get out of here. Boy, if you don't get out of here. If you do not get out of here. But you know, that's like, I don't know. I think Piers Morgan, first of all, I think it's highly disrespectful that Piers Morgan's gonna say anything that Beyonce is trying to take Marilyn Monroe look just because she got our blonde hair when she's been doing all different types of colors and styles to her hair since she became famous. That's kind of crazy to me in the first place. It's like saying LeBron James culturally appropriated Larry Bird's jump shot. What? Like Marilyn Monroe was the blueprint. Like, no, she was the blueprint of white America's fantasy. Beyonce is the blueprint of black global excellence. It's different archetypes. So for Piers Morgan to try to bring her down to a Marilyn Monroe, Beyonce is way bigger than Marilyn Monroe. That is just crazy. In my opinion, I think that's just crazy talk. So anybody that have a beach blonde hair that's now is Marilyn Monroe. So that whoever's the first person that make it famous is they look, get the hell out of here. Now, I would say it's the Marilyn Monroe look if she'd have had a goddamn white dress and she stood over a goddamn New York City event and tried to hold her skirt down. Yeah, then I would say I agree. But any woman that has a goddamn bleach blonde hairstyle, you cannot say, oh, that's Marilyn Monroe. Get the hell out of here. It's insane to me. That's an interesting one. AC, I don't know. Did Trump do something like that? That's a very interesting point. I have no idea. I ain't know. He did have some. Oh yeah, because she was on my homegirl side, right? Because Beyonce did not endorse Trump, so that is very interesting as well. Beyonce is as big a cultural icon as Marilyn. Beyonce represents a generation. Beyonce is way bigger than Marilyn Monroe. It's not even close. You can't even compare the two. You can't even compare the two. It's not even close. I forgot Beyonce was against Donald Trump. So that makes a lot of sense too. I didn't even think about that, HT. I didn't think about it. To be honest, like I don't know why Piers Morgan, like I didn't really understand it, but it's making some traction. I think it's very interesting that Sydney Sweeney is looking like as a, like I don't see what's the big deal with it, but Beyonce wearing the same kind of denim outfit, all of a sudden now that's cultural appropriation, right? I think Piers Morgan, he weighs some air. If Beyonce wore a potato sack, I think he would say that was culturally appropriate in Idaho. I think that's what Piers Morgan said. If she done came up there with a goddamn potato sack, Piers Morgan would have said she is culturally appropriate in Idaho. That's how horrible these people are. This how mad and impressed they are about. Like, so you know what's funny about it? They got so mad because Sydney Sweeney, beautiful young lady and everything. It's kind of hard for her to compare to Beyonce, but they both put on a denim outfit together. But one looks 10 times better. One looks 10 times better in the outfit. Shout out to Levi. Even though I don't really fuck with Levi. Let me not curse on my own damn show. That's crazy. And then we got Megyn Kelly's take. I don't understand how Megyn Kelly gets into it, right? And she is saying that Beyonce is fake and she is a fake sexy person and all these things. She got a fake fame, fake body, fake booty. How is Megyn Kelly talking anything about Beyonce being fake? Is crazy. What's up, Voice of Venus? Good to see you, beautiful. I don't understand how Megyn Kelly can talk about anybody being fake. Megyn Kelly's take is crazy to me. Like Megyn Kelly once said blackface was okay on Halloween. So her cultural sensitivity is like a broken smoke detector. Useless and loud. It's insanity. I don't know why these people be getting the idea that they just talk about our icons like this. I don't know how people get the idea that they could just put eugenics right in front of our faces and act like we don't see what that means. Like we don't know what the mustache man was trying to say. Like we don't understand what MAGA is trying to say. It's insane to me. Do we supposed to act like, oh, we don't buy the G? Nah, F that. We need to speak up about it. Martin Luther King, what up, man? This ain't nonsense. Maybe Beyonce in denim is a threat. Maybe Beyonce and Levi's is a threat. The idea that Marilyn Monroe was the only woman to be allowed to be sexy is crazy with blonde hair. Like, just because Beyonce looks great with blonde hair, beach blonde hair, whatever y'all want to call it, whatever kind of bleach blonde, whatever that style is, like now Marilyn Monroe owns that style. Anybody that wears that goddamn hair color, it's crazy. I just don't understand it, Martin Luther King. I don't know if Sydney Sweeney, she have any big issues with it yet. We don't know what she says, how she feel about it, how she is being put as the face of eugenics, how she's being the face of blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't know. I think that's weird, but she's just a model. She's just an actress. Maybe she didn't have no idea. I don't know. I do not understand why y'all think if we talk about what is in our culture that has something to do with distracting us from politics. I do not understand. I wish you could explain to me how, if we talk about what's happening in pop culture, how's that stopping us from anything happening in politics? I would love, let me hit this goddamn link. Let me see. I want somebody to explain that to me because I don't get it. How is it a distraction? I want to know, how's it a distraction? And I think the real problem is like, we have cultural appropriation and we have cultural inspiration, right? And did Beyonce steals Marilyn? I don't know. She stole it. I don't know. Maybe she borrowed the aesthetic, and maybe she made it black, bold, and $1 billion. Because let's be clear, it ain't none of those goddamn. Listen, Beyonce looked great in those goddamn jeans. I'll tell you that. Made me think about getting some goddamn Levi's. So Bubba's saying it's not stopping, it's stopping more stories on the news. It's eating up airtime talking about these things that matter to us instead of talking about politics. So please hit the link and talk about it. I would like to understand what you're trying to say. I don't know. I don't see nobody talking about it nowhere. Even so, what are the Epstein files going to do for you? What about the Epstein files you want to talk about? Interesting. And sometimes like when you see and hear the conversation, like people like Piers Morgan and Megyn Kelly, right? It's when you hear those type of white folks say cultural appropriation, it really means like they're not used to seeing black women on the spotlight, and so they gotta relate it to something negative. That's what it seems like to me. Whenever I hear somebody like Piers Morgan, Megyn Kelly say something about a black person having some kind of cultural appropriation, it's just like, nah, we ain't used to seeing black folks do good. That's what it seems like to me. I did drop the link. Let me make sure I drop the link for anybody that want to express themselves. I do want to hear some good points, especially, if you could come up and you could disagree or you could agree, you could give me your point of view. It's all good. B-Law says if you can have black pride, then they can have white pride. Nobody said you can't. It's the same thing. It seems like it's okay for us to do it, but no one else can. I don't get why people are so bothered. People are bothered because they are not just having white pride. They're saying that, no, we want to breed other people out. When you talk about eugenics, that's not just talking about I'm proud of who I am and where I come from. Those are two different things. Nobody cares if nobody black wants to move to the middle of America. We leave all that middle of America to the white folks. Hey, go ahead, do your thing. You got your farms, you got your tornadoes, you got your hailstorms. We get it. We don't mind. We ain't bothering nobody over here. But when you go out your way to show your racism, that is a problem. And I don't know why a lot of people feel a way when we say something about like, hey, that's not cool. And the problem is, it is that serious because that's how propaganda works. When you're not selling a clothing product, but you are selling a race propaganda, that is a issue that we as a community of America should have a problem with. Because propaganda is how you get things moving in the wrong direction. So I think we should take these things serious. We should not take these little things as it's just a slight. You don't see other cultures when we say other cultures, we know what we talk about. They don't play that. You're not going to see them in no goddamn tattoo commercial. And I don't think we should stop getting offended. No, we should be offended when things is offensive. I think we should absolutely get offended when things are offensive. When it is appropriate to be offended, yes, you should be offended. Do people need to be less sensitive? Yes, but when somebody is purposely trying to be offensive, we should be able to call out the offense and say, hey, that ain't cool. What up, Eater Man? Good to see you. And so that's the thing. A lot of people feel that way. I don't care, and I got other things to care about. That is cool until it hits your door. Everybody says that. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me until it does. You know, like, so all the people that voted for Donald Trump that was of Spanish descent, they thought the same thing. It doesn't really bother me. Him saying that he's gonna, and then look, it's at their door. They literally have ICE members dressed up in U-Haul trucks in the back of U-Haul trucks, drive around to the goddamn Home Depot and pop out the goddamn back of the U-Haul like, surprise, surprise. We got some work for you back across the border. That's where the work is at. And I understand that too, beloved. Like, hey, but it also needs to be said that we have to speak about offensive things as well, though. Right? We cannot just say we're gonna just keep sweeping these things under the rug and say, oh yeah, that was offensive and that was in distasteful. I'm not gonna pay attention to it because I got bills to pay. Nah. We got to speak up about it. We got to let our voices be heard. It is okay for our voices to be heard. It is okay for us to be big and bold and as big as we possibly can be. I hear you, Bubba. What up, Smitty? I hear you, Bubba. I hear you. He said it ain't the Latinos. I feel you. Hold on, let me see. Let me pin this at the top. You know, I'm starting to get used to this thing again. I'll be forgetting how to use the damn thing. All right. Now we pin. So anybody can hit the link. You can hit the link. That was me, Bubba. No, I'm just saying. Hey, I just think it's highly interesting. I don't know. Every time when we see these things and we see that it's a clear correlation between the two, right? Sydney Sweeney is like, hey, we should ignore it. Hey, I understand that it was kind of eugenics like. It wasn't really talking about denim. It was talking about breeding out other races and blonde hair and blue eyes is the superior genes and all this thing. Those are the good genes, just like good hair and good this and the good kid versus the bad kid versus yeah, like all that's nah. I ain't going for it. What's up, Cassandra? And I'm just not going for it. I just think that we should be offended when it's time to be offended. Bubba, we ain't talking sports, goddammit. See, but here's the thing about the whole you saying that Shador has good genes. So the thing is that black folks don't got no manifesto talking about how they're gonna breed out every other race in the world. So this is the thing why I don't understand where's the correlation. How can you compare those two things? If I say I'm good at things and I got good genes, I got good this, I got good that, that does not compare to saying what eugenics is and how a certain demographic of people was pushing for to terminate other human beings because they did not fit the mold of those genes. That is the difference. It ain't the same as FUBU. It's not. It's not even close. And yeah, Marilyn Monroe, she's iconic. She is, but she ain't no damn Beyonce. And the real issue is not mad, they're not even mad at the outfit. They mad that Beyonce didn't ask permission to be powerful. That's the real problem. She looked too damn good. And listen, Beyonce ain't copying no goddamn Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe. I need some more water. Beyonce didn't culturally appropriate Marilyn Monroe, which is insane to me. So I don't understand it. It is what it is, though. Damn, now she sound like a lie. What you mean, drinking water? What you talking about? I said to Ray. Who lying on black folks? But I think it's always interesting when we see these things and we have these conversations. It seems like we are the ones that got to be quiet about it. Like, I don't know why you offended. What you mean? What you mean you don't understand why? I think it's just disrespectful for you to put something out like that. That might be true, HT. And I don't understand why when for some reason when black folks get offended by something, people get like they don't understand why we could be offended by something. Strange to me. It's just strange to me that like, okay, that's fine. You can have a different perspective on something, but why bring up the other side? So do you agree with eugenics? Eugenics is called plant. No, it's not. So I don't think I never supported baby deletions because I'm pretty sure that's what you mean by Planned Parenthood. You talking about that section of Planned Parenthood, the baby deletions part. So like so I get that part. But if that is the case, Bubba, if that's the case, that Planned Parenthood is a extension of eugenics, why are we acting like it's okay for American Eagle to push out some propaganda about eugenics? So that's the thing I'm not understanding. If eugenics is bad, it should be bad across the board. So it should be bad and offensive in a commercial that for everybody to see. Do you agree or not? Is eugenics a good thing or a bad thing? when the Mustache Man's was producing it and he was using that propaganda of 6 foot, blonde hair, and blue eyes, was that a good or a bad thing? And saying how everybody else should be erased from planet Earth if you don't fit that criteria. Is that a good or a bad thing? Can somebody please answer that question? Because if it's a bad thing, then I don't understand why we wouldn't be, as Americans, offended by American Eagle trying to attempt to appropriate that. Now I don't get no answer. How convenient. I'll wait. I got patience. I have patience. Let me see what Bubba said. Not all talk about genes. It's not eugenics. A beautiful person has good genes. A talented athlete has good genes. Very true. However, we know when they did that commercial with the blonde hair, blue eyes saying she got good genes, what is that a reference towards? So it's not just a reference that she is a nice looking woman and she has good genes and she has good genetic features. Right, because they also put her in, they also dyed her hair blonde, right? Because she's not a natural blonde. So that is propaganda at its best. So what I'm saying is that if we are going to have a conversation that eugenics is a bad thing and everything that's attached to eugenics is a bad thing, I don't know why you wouldn't just come out and say, yeah, you know what, that commercial was a little bit too much. That is something from the 1950s. It has no business doing anything in 2025. Because she's not even a blonde. So them playing on those words and they put her looking a certain way, that is propaganda. That is the issue. And it should be a serious issue for every single human being. Because even white folks that do not have blonde hair and blue eyes, those people are in danger too of this propaganda. So that's the craziest part to me. So the people that are acting like only black folks should be offended. No, not only black people should be offended. Like everybody in America should be offended by the situation because you are saying that that it's blonde hair, blue eyes is the good gene, and everybody else you have you got The blonde hair, blue eyes, that's the good genes. Everything else is meh. So even if you are a white person and you do not have blonde hair and blue eyes, you should be offended about this commercial. And that's the truth of the matter. This is not a black thing. You goddamn right, world class. I'm offended by this ish. I'm offended for these guys. I'm offended for white folks that's not catching on to what is actually happening. They think that this shit is just about a black and white thing. This shit is bigger than black and white. Talking about blonde hair and blue eyes is a very specific recessive gene. So if they are talking about eugenics, it's not just talking about that she has good genes over black people. It's also she have good genes over white people too. And those people that doesn't have the same genes, you are going to get breaded out as well. Renee said, I don't even know what was happening. I didn't even know who she was until I seen all the craziness. So Bubba said it's just really everything is a distraction. Everything that is not what you want to talk about is a distraction. So I guess if we was to talking about the Epstein files, we're gonna say that's a distraction either. They say, hey, they distracting us from hey, did you know he just passed a bill? And the bill said If you was in a 5-year relationship as of August 1st, 2025, you are now legally married. He just passed the bill, and y'all was all worried about the Epstein's file. Like, no matter what we do and what we pay attention to, somebody's going to say it's a distraction from something else. I think that's crazy. No matter what we do, what we talk about, it's always something else is a distraction from something else. When are we going to just get together and say, hey, man, like we could talk about what we're talking about? Maybe people don't actually care about the Epstein files so much. After he self-deleted himself or somebody deleted him, and your man Donald Trump don't want to release the files. I don't know. You need to talk to Trump. You the supporter of Donald Trump. Tell him to release the damn files. Because I don't know how you want us, the people, to get him to release the files. Maybe you want me to talk about it so he can release the files. I don't know. But I know we was talking about that. A bill would pass, and then somebody would come into this chat and say, hey, look, while y'all was talking about the Epstein files, but nobody care about, they distracted us from this happening. Like it always happens. So it doesn't matter what we talk about. Somebody's going to say, we being distracted. Well, if it's Beyonce, Sydney Sweeney, American Eagle, Levi jeans. Whether we talking about holding women accountable, or we talking about holding black women accountable. I don't know what y'all want to talk about. Shakari Richardson, how we can hold that black woman accountable? Easy. Done. We can hold that woman accountable. What she did was it's wild. So Bubba, what I'm saying is that it is okay for a white person to say I have good genetics. I don't see nothing wrong with you being a proud white human being or Caucasian human being, because I got the wrong class in here. He's going to be saying things that you know, white folks are the real black folks. Because black means to be pale. That's etymology. You know. However, talking about you having good genes in the sense of you are proud of who you are, that is fine. But when we understand what the conversation is and what they are trying to propagandize, that's when we should have a problem. That's when we should all get offended and say, hey, we don't see the writing on the wall. That is the problem. I can't stand Bubba. That's right. White is the new black. That's the name of the TV show, y'all. Starring the wrong class and Bubba Homeschool. So what I'm saying is this: it's nothing wrong. So it's nothing wrong for be love and Bubba. It's nothing wrong for you to be proud of your heritage, whichever side of that heritage you are on. It is a problem when you are saying your heritage needs to breed out other people's heritage. Now that is a problem. That's what eugenics is. Eugenics is not about just being prideful of your race. Eugenics is not being prideful of whatever genetic code that you might have. No, eugenics is about breeding out other human beings. That is a problem. That is a problem. I want you to talk. I don't want you to keep asking me questions for no reason. I want you to answer the things that I'm saying. Do you not believe that if somebody come out and say my race is better than yours and we should all breed out every other race so it can only be one and we're going to exterminate the other race, is that a good or a bad thing? Yes or no? Okay, so you are on my side, Bubba, and it's okay to be on my side. You agree with me more than you disagree with me. Just like the wrong class agrees with me more than he disagrees with me. You know what I mean? Professor Etymology himself agrees with me. And so, like, when we having a conversation, it's okay if we could get on one accord and say, yeah, you know what, this shit is offensive. And this shit should not be allowed. You need to take down that ad. You need to change your verbiage of what you are saying because it's harmful. And it's okay for us to be on one accord sometimes. See, Bubba says he agree with me about like only 10% of the time. Good day. Welcome to the show, lads. ASAP.
What up, brother Sharon? Welcome back.
Good day.
Yeah.
It feels good to be back. Thank you. What's up with you? What's your thoughts on all this craziness? Should we actually see things that is offensive when they are purposely trying to offend us? Should we not speak up and say, hey, that was offensive? Why are you trying to offend me? And you need to take down that offensive ad.
Well, Dunkin' Donuts has one similar to it, right? With the white guy in the lawn chair talking about his jeans or something weird or whatnot. It's been a couple commercials out like that now, believe it or not. Yeah, there's becoming like a trend of some sort, right? This Darwinism.
Now, so this Darwinism, should we not be offended by something like this? And I think all Americans should be offended by it, in my opinion.
No, we have better genes. It's obvious Black people have better genes. So, you know, if they can get out there and brag about blonde hair and blue eyes, go ahead. Throw yourself out there. But when it comes to every sport, who's leading the way? Besides sports they pick up along the way, like hockey. And even then, you got Black people in that now. So, believe it or not, the gene set belongs to us. But if they feel like blonde hair and blue eyes is okay, go ahead.
Right. So, but the thing is that it's not that they feel like their genes is better, but they feel like their genes is so much better that they're gonna breed and delete everybody else that doesn't have that so-called superior gene. That is the problem that I have with it.
Well, they're not deleting anyone. We're kind of doing it to ourselves, right? I mean, think about it. I mean, we're not producing kids. We're not in relationships anymore. We're just kind of running around here. We're just kind of alive in the Black community right now. So think about the numbers in 2050, 2060 on this current trend, right? We're talking about right now we're at 13%. We'll be down to 6% by 2050, 2060, easy.
So, all right. So the reason why we are, that's across the board, right? Everybody's having less children. And that's because of money situation. That's because of career. That's because things are getting more expensive. The same house that was only $25,000 is now $400,000. Same exact house. They ain't even do no goddamn upgrades to the damn house. But somehow now this land is worth more money than it was 50 years ago, right? So that's why people are having less children. So it's a money situation, but them using propaganda to slowly get people into being comfortable with terminating other genetics, that is a problem. And we got to nip that shit in the bud. That's what grandma used to say. You got to nip it in the bud, because you let somebody push you, it's going to turn into something else eventually. And the next thing you know, hey.
So talking about a purge, a full-on purge, right here in the living room.
Absolutely, we got to nip it in the bud. Like it's not a coincidence that we are talking about possible. They are talking about propagandizing eugenics, and also simultaneously, Donald Trump and Elon Musk is all of a sudden on one accord talking about doing what in DC.
Right now, they're talking about making babies because their numbers is low too.
They talking about bringing the National Guard to DC.
To the District of Columbia.
For Washington, D.C. They talking about bringing the National Guard to D.C. So we got eugenics in the background, and we also got Elon and Trump all of a sudden getting together and saying like, hey, it's okay to bring the National Guard, to bring some kind of military force into Washington, D.C. to start policing everything. This is not, we got to pay attention to the writings. Or we cannot wait until we again slapped in the face and punched and pulled out of a goddamn car until it happens to us to say, oh, now I understand that it started from a goddamn jeans commercial.
Didn't they deport Elon? Is he still here?
Yes, he's still here. So, you know, when you look back into the manifesto of the mustache man, the mean Kempf, right? It started off with just, guess what? Clothing ads, little comic strips. And that's how he built it into the whole propaganda of getting the whole movement, the two lightning bolts movement going. And so, like, for people to act like they don't understand, like, how propaganda starts somewhere and it ends somewhere, and that we also not should be offended is wild to me. We absolutely should be offended.
Yeah, my biggest concern is when you start seeing the hammers, right? You know what the hammers stand for. Yeah, that's when you got a real issue, when you see the hammers.
You're right. And we seen what happened when they had the tiki torches and all that. We know that the whole MAGA situation was a call to action at one point. They just got smart at the call to action now, right? That's why he got his Truth Social. We ain't on Truth Social. We don't know what the hell be happening there.
Actually, I am, and I do monitor them very closely.
So that's good. So you should understand propaganda a little bit better, and we should not be just sweeping these things under the rug. I think we should nip shit in the bud. Grandma used to tell me, shit don't change until you get up and wipe your ass, nickel. Boy. And then the fact that Beyonce have a similar commercial with her in jeans, a jean outfit, and then all of a sudden white folks in the uproar. I think that's wild.
That just comes to show no matter how many white men you try to seduce, they still ain't gonna buy your black shit.
What you talking about?
Seductive jeans, ass out, the white guy walking around behind her looking for attention. That's a marketing ad to try to pull in a certain demographic of men to start buying or looking at more of those jeans, or get women to buy more of those jeans for those men, right? And it didn't seem to work out like they planned it to. Now, this American Eagle ad, that they said that it sold, what is it, almost 30,000 pairs of jeans since it took off? Or more, something wild.
And so you saying that with it being propaganda, and then now you giving information that, hey, when they did this call to action and say, hey, we getting back to the business. We got MAGA, we got blonde hair, blue eyes, and now it sold over 30,000 new pairs of jeans out the blue. We saying that we should not be offended. We should not be up and saying, hey, maybe this is something that we should be paying attention to. I don't understand like how people don't see the writings on the wall sometimes, and we got to stop it before it gets too big of an action.
Well, in this scenario, you have a president of the United States who has full immunity, the House, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. There's not much you really can do besides separate yourself, unless you plan to leave, right?
Right. We see those white folks down in wherever they was at, I think in Utah, right? What they did, they made a whites only community, right?
Oh, that's in Missouri, and in what's that other state they said they went to? Missouri and another damn state.
And they went to
Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas.
So they went, because Missouri is a decently black city. So
that's me. I'm from the Midwest. It still got its the hillbillies out there, you know. They still congregate a lot.
No, okay.
So yeah, it's still a lot of that out there. So, you know, with the Midwest states like Kentucky, I'm from Kentucky, right? Vast majority of them, we're talking about 85-90% white population. Grew up with white folks around me, seen them. And I will say this about them: most of the time, they're not talking about us. They really ain't studying us in the least bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they do get kind of on these little tangents, that's when they kind of get to the point where, you know, saying they get a little bit insufferable with their kind of bullshit. But usually they calm back down and go back to normal after a while.
Interesting point of view. And I just think that is unfair to hear people when they talk about it, they just act as if other people are crazy about it. That's the only thing that kind of bugs me out about it. Like, why are you offended? You don't buy the jeans anyway because it's propaganda. That's why we're mad about it. They
I mean, we got bigger battles to fight. I mean, you got one. Lil Tay made $1 million in 3 hours on OnlyFans.
Who?
$1 million. Lil Tay, little white chick. She made $1 million in 3 hours on OnlyFans. I thought that was insane. So
what's her name?
Lil Tay, yeah. So somebody's life savings, she made in 3 hours. Someone's whole life's work, right? Because you got people out here working for 30, 40, 50K a year. It takes them 20 years to even get close to that number. And she got it in 3 hours.
She made $1 million off of men. And the ADS, they get mad at me when I tell their asses to go walk 15 minutes this way, 15 minutes that way, do at least 2 push-ups a day to keep the estrogen away. That's crazy. How you make this little white woman $1 million in 3 hours just because you are a horny? You need to go do something with your life that you that horny.
Oh, don't tell them to do anything. Let them get fat and lazy. Let them get out of shape. Let them get themselves in health conditions. It just makes it easier for me to come through and scoop up, you know, right? That girlfriend you paid $1 million in 3 hours to, she in the Jeep. You know what I'm saying? That little white chick you gonna say you sworn on with the jeans, I'm in her jeans. Yo, go ahead, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Keep sending that money. Don't stop those cash apps. Don't stop the music. Keep it running. You know what I'm saying? Keep it rolling. I need new shoes. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
So now that after you saying that, right, and we understand what's going on, why so many men are focused on keeping women accountable. I seen a comment because I'm starting to get back into the swing of things, and I've seen a lot of people titles saying women accountable, hold women accountable this, accountable that. Even though we see you cannot hold them accountable, because it got plenty of men secretly making them millionaires. So how are you going to hold women accountable if you don't hold yourself accountable first?
And our women specifically will cook your ass. Oh, believe it or not, Black women, that accountability thing, especially, I can see if you're married to her, you know, because girlfriend, boyfriend, all that stuff, to me, you still don't have any type of real credibility there, right? It's just a verbal commitment, and it's really just two people spending time together. But once you get under that covenant or vow of God, at that point, that's when that becomes a real thing, right? Of accountability in that particular circumstance and situation, because now you are joined. But before then, I mean, you're asking someone that you have no relation to, no connection to, you don't really have any say-so with to do what you say. And in most cases, that's going to get saying there are going to be some authority figures somewhere to be found, right? Eventually, if that is the case. So nobody's holding, I mean, you could do some verbal correction if you're into that stuff, right? And which there's nothing wrong with that. That goes for men and women. You could try to say, hey, this is wrong in my view. But the only thing or the only real consequence to that is she don't take the advice and she goes on with her life.
So I think my understand, like, just recently I did my first show the other day, and somebody named the Hood Conservative, you probably know him. He already did a show saying that I don't hold women accountable because I let Happy have a conversation. And so my problem is that men like that, they think that they are above other human beings just because he has a penis. Like, your words don't mean more to anybody else. I don't care if you think she's talking gibberish. That don't mean nothing to me. You might think she's talking gibberish. I might think you talking gibberish, but I still let y'all both talk. That's the crazy part. What up, sugar bum? And so, like, this whole accountability thing it doesn't make sense. The only woman in recent time I think that we could hold accountable is Shakari Richardson, right? You need to keep your goddamn hands to yourself. You shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody. You shouldn't be pushing your goddamn boyfriend that you've been with for 2 years. I don't know what the situation is. It doesn't seem like he was being aggressive. It seemed like he was just trying to let her get her frustration out. That's the only woman we could hold accountable in recent time until we hear more of the story. But as of right now, you got to keep your hands to your goddamn self. And for that young man, he needs to leave that woman alone. And she might be just, frustrated for whatever something happened to her. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what, because you know she is a woman that do hold herself accountable, right? Because when she had that first situation that happened with the whole smoking weed, she held herself accountable. She said, "I'm going to get better. I'm going to do this." And what did she do? She did exactly what she said, and she became the fastest woman in the world again. And we kind of forgot that she even smoked a little. We kind of forgot about it because she ran so goddamn good and she beat the damn Jamaicans.
Well, let me say this out loud. Those type of laws aren't meant for men anyway. They're meant for women. That was the protections from 1992. It's amazing that men would even, you know, for two, let's just call this out. She makes the money. He doesn't. He's Pookie. He's hanging up under her shoulder. Yes. You have a right to your boundaries. But in that circumstance, brother, I might let her get a couple licks. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to hit that thing that night. And I know I'm going to get that new Lexus. I know I'm going to get it now. You know what I'm saying? Before I thought I was going to get it, but now I know I'm going to get it.
in the words of Sugar Bum, what's this? So you saying if you was the young man, you'd have let her beat on you?
A little bit.
Oh my goodness.
I can't afford to lose that crib, brother. I can't. She got him a hope, bro. I can't afford to lose this shit. Yo, I'll go lay here and be stoic. I'm gonna get up, act like this ain't never happened. We're gonna have some real good sex because I want to make sure you get all that out. We're gonna knock that thing, knock that bottom out. And we're gonna go to sleep. We're gonna wake up the next day and everything gonna be okay. Because I'm gonna get my car in my house and I'm gonna chill out.
Hey, look, I would tell, hey, listen, if you are in a relationship and that other person, the male or the female, it don't matter. Hey, somebody's putting their hands on you, you need to leave. That is one serious offense because it might start off as just pushing, and then it's going to turn into a slap. It's going to turn into a punch. And next you know, knives and guns are going to get involved eventually. And I don't play with that. Nah, you're not slapping me. I ain't gonna be slapping you back. I do not want that kind of relationship. And I think she will learn from it because she seems like somebody that really has self-reflection. Like I said, when she did that whole smoking the weed thing, she held herself accountable. She got better. She put the work in, and she changed back into being a hell of an athlete. Right, getting endorsements. Like ADS just saying, like she getting to the bag right now too. So this is kind of bad for her to experience this type of situation that she could hold, that she could hold worse composure. You know what I'm saying? So, but homeboy ADS, right? He needs to leave her ass alone. He ain't the one for her. The next dude, maybe the next dude, she could do some self-reflection. She could be by herself for a little bit, and then, hey, look, she could be a better woman. She could move forward, and maybe she'll keep her hands to her goddamn self for the next man. But this young man, he needs to cut his losses and say, hey, you are in a space that I don't need to be in.
Yo, you take that beating like a man and you get up. You make sure you put on that jagged edge, that Drew Hill. You put on that playlist, that scissor. You put on that playlist and you make love to that woman like you never had before. Because there's nothing worse than what they get beat on. You know what's worse than getting beat on, Sharon? As a man, you know what's worse than getting beat on as a man? Being homeless. Nigga, waking up in your mama's house, nigga. Waking up at your mama's house.
Absolutely. Well, Sugar Bum, you know I'm into running, so yes, I do watch track and field. Shakari is one of my top dogs right now. I love me some Gabby Thomas. She's my favorite right now. I love me some Gabby. So it is what it is. Also like Sydney as well. She's from New Jersey. But god damn, I can't believe what I am hearing from ADS. He's telling that man to go ahead and be a homosexual. See, this is the problem, ADS.
He was already a homosexual. You act like he was doing something before this happened. What is he doing?
All I'm saying is that, but when I come up here and I'll be saying like, hey, a lot of these men are homosexuals, even the successful track stars. Y'all be on my head, y'all be on my neck, like, nah, Sharon, you wildin'. And then look, ADS like, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I'd have took that ass whooping.
You talk about millions of dollars? Oh, that's worth it. Every lick. baby, hit me again. I'm gonna put on those special shorts tonight. I'm gonna hit that thing. Oh my good, bro! I about to lose that house. We about to lose that.
That's the same, but you know, a lot of men in this day and age, because there's plenty of women get into that bag, even though they try to act as if women are not getting to it. Women are getting to the money in all types of ways, whether it's corporate, whether if it's, you know, on the grind, whether it's in IT, women are getting to it. Even though, you know, I've been seeing some things about they fired 300,000 black people and all this other craziness.
600,000. 600 is the actual number. 600,000 in the workforce.
600,000 women.
Yeah, over a 4-month span. It was wild. All the numbers ain't out like they supposed to be, because they initially announced, we talking about back in June and July, that the number was around more upwards 400,000. Then one of the people on CNN, when I was watching it one night, you know, saying, I think when the ladies came out, it says around 6, and I was like, well, damn, you know, right? And now they say it's 3. I'm not sure. Maybe some people just didn't get it. Maybe just some reversals happened, right? 300,000 reversals, or it's yeah, it's up in its stuff. That's you know saying tough stuff.
So why did they just fire women?
DEI.
So they say all those women was falsely employed, that all 300,000 of those women couldn't do their job.
I'm saying this.
No, I'm saying what?
Go ahead. There are probably other components to this that we don't know from a general public perspective, like they're cutting jobs to replace us with AI, because a lot of the jobs can be, because a lot of it can be done via AI now, right? I mean, we're talking about whenever I call up anybody, especially from a business perspective, I hit that AI first before I even get to a person, and I got to go through 1,000 prompts to get to that one person. So that tells me that the number of people who were once working in those particular apartments aren't necessarily there anymore, or at least they moved on to other apartments, right?
What up, out the mud? Cody, good day, sir. What up, Dawn? Dawn starting trouble. But I think it is interesting that they saying it's DEI higher, and this is just women, or is it a certain race of women? That's 600,000.
I think it's black women, rainbows, and some other folks, right? That got hit the hardest. I mean, this is one part of the journey I did not enjoy, watching this happen. I don't like to see people, you know, saying lose their stuff, lose their things, lose their lives, you know, but behind aspects, you know, saying of society. And I think this could have been done a lot better. You know, I know a lot of people got nice little severance checks, especially people who have been in the government for 20 some odd years. But on the backhand side, it still hurts, you know, saying families long term, right?
Sugar Bum asked a question. Let me see. How many? Let me find out. Let me find out for Sugar Bum, because I have no idea, Sugar Bum. Or let's see. It's a good question, Sugar, because I have no idea. So in terms, I said 75% of black women aged 16 to 64 in the United States was part of the labor force. Damn, 16 to 64. God damn, ADS. In terms of population, there are about 21.1 million black women in U.S. So translate to roughly 15.8 million black women are engaged in the workforce. That's a lot of women getting to the bag, ADS. That's a lot of women getting to the bag. Hood Sarda, where was you? I was just holding black women accountable just now. So I disagree with Hood Sarda say 300,000 black women fired and black men unaffected. I don't think that's true. I think black men are definitely going to get affected.
A lot of those niggas ain't have jobs anyway. Let's move on.
What you mean? What you
know how many black men are out of the labor force altogether off unemployment statistics and everything?
How many?
Probably about 3 or 4 million, maybe 5.
5 million black men are not working.
I'd say about at least I feel as if was it 2 or 3 million. Whenever I go see on the other side of town, I see plenty of like we talking about young dudes, right in their 20s, just out and about, like doing stuff, like hanging out, just and I was like, you know, my first thought is right, why ain't these niggas got no job? This is my day off. I get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm driving through here, and I mean, it's a Tuesday afternoon, about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and the streets is full of young niggas, and I'm like, where the jobs at? You know, right? Well, what are they doing to eat? I mean, they just hanging out together, selling. I mean, what the hell is going on here, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy. So, Sugar Bum asked the question, I answered. So, yes, there are more black women that are employed than unemployed. That is for sure. So, hood conservative, you can't have it both ways. So, 300,000 black women got unemployed, and you saying black men are unaffected, but also you saying black men don't want jobs. You cannot have it both ways, sir. Absolutely not. So again, like, no, it will affect our community if we have 300,000 black women get unemployed all of a sudden, and then now it's more difficult for them, even though they figured out the skills to get employed in the first place. And clearly these other black men that ADS be driving by, they ain't figure out the skill set to go ahead and get this goddamn coin. That's a problem.
I mean, when it comes to let's just be honest, a lot of the ideologies, feminism, some of that extreme, some of the red pill extremes, I'm not with that really altogether with that stuff. I understand a lot of this is natural instinct for a lot of people. This is just more survival mode for most. And I think we need to adapt that right in our conversations. But, if you got any type of heart at all, I mean, in your chest, in your body, in your mind, in your soul, you got to be considered. You say, okay, 300,000 people. Oh, yeah, that was a great lick, right? Okay, that was a win for some of the red pill guys, right? Like, oh, there you go. I showed you. But in reality, those people have families. They've got children. When we talk about the single mother epidemic, think about how many of them have kids in school, right? That they got to feed and take care of. And now mom's got to find a whole new job. And even making that kind of money she was making before, especially if she's living in DC, where the cost of living is like super outrageous. I mean, there's a lot more that go into it than just a layer, you know what I'm saying? What people...
Hey, ADS, I just looked at it. It seems like, hopefully this statistic is wrong, the first one I seen, but it says 8.8 million black men in the United States are employed full-time out of 20 million men. Fuck.
Sharon, I try to stay the hell away from that, and you went into it anyway, see? You was looking, Sharon. You was looking to pick. I told you to stay out that number.
Yo, hood conservative, you gotta hold black men accountable for this one, because goddamn, 300,000 black women just got fired, and still they have more black women in the workforce than black men. Nah. No, beloved, you might be correct about that. It does not account for self-employment. However, on the ladies' side, it didn't account for self-employment either. So black women, it's 15 million black women employed, and on the men's side, it's 8 million black men employed. That is insane if those numbers stand correct.
And 7.5 million of them are single. And that's the wild part about this. It's the unemployed dudes who be getting the chicks to get the women around here. You gotta have enough time to spend with them. You ain't got enough time to spend with them. That's why they see you. You gotta be out there all the time, every day, all day up front of them. You got to live with them, breathe with them, eat with them, sleep with them, feed their kids, live in their skin, and then all of a sudden you might get a win. There you go.
That's crazy. And then they got the nerve of these black men on the internet. The nerve, man. ADS, that's a crazy, and that's why a lot of times I really don't want to be checking out those guys. No, beloved, they do not count unless they're a pharmacist, and then we can count it, beloved. And I think
licensed pharmacist.
So no, beloved, they don't count. God damn it. And so, like, man, that's kind of crazy. And this is why I always have a problem with when men like hood conservatives say you got to hold women accountable. and they are holding themselves accountable clearly. They are the majority of the workforce for Black folks. That's crazy to me. That don't make no goddamn sense. Especially out of 20 million, only 8 million is employed.
There's lots that go into that number too. You got to think about the most heavy part of Black men when it comes to numbers are the boomers, and we still have some of the silent generation left behind too. People don't think about that, right? There's still a few of them left, you know. So that's your biggest demographic when it comes to Black men. So the numbers sort of kind of make sense if you're talking about 6 million, 7 million. I give you 8 million. But that still leaves a hard gap of 4 million that are Gen X and proceeding, right? That are still, don't have employment. That's a big thing.
Right. And so I think with them being 15 million plus employed, I think that is women being held accountable, because clearly they are the ones that's making the money that's going to be taking care of the goddamn family, right? Because they employ more than us, so therefore they are holding it down. That's accountability. I think we ask any Black woman if Shakari Richardson is correct for put her hands on her man in the public at an airport when she knows she's a public figure, not having self-awareness to who she is and where she's at and what she's doing. I don't think it's going to be too many women going to be like, yeah, she did the right thing. So no, women are being held accountable. I think that I don't understand. I think the fact that men these days are saying like, hey, no, I'm not going to date a single mother, that is women being held accountable. So I don't understand where these men get it. They don't understand that they got to hold themselves accountable. The only thing you could change is your goddamn self. Stop worrying about some goddamn women you can't touch. Or just say that you don't really like women. And it is okay. Like you rather use your hand, or you're not into whatever you got going on. Just say that instead. But you trying to convince everybody else that women are the problem for something when we just looked at employment rates and we clearly that's a problem. A huge one.
How can you say, and then this is just an observation here, that you don't want something but you ain't got no options? I met a guy a couple of weeks ago, older Black man, luxury apartment, Atlanta, downtown, right? Bachelor his whole life. And guess what? He's gonna leave all that money he made to, because he made about $3, $4, $5, $6 million, right? According to him. Guess who's gonna leave that money to?
Who? The government?
The United Negro College Fund.
Oh, well, at least it's a college fund.
But because you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no lineage, you ain't got no legacy, you ain't got no house. I mean, you got luxury. You got this luxury apartment in the sky, George Jefferson. I'm so happy to hear that. But to me, it's just like, what was all this for? If just for that, just for luxury.
Let that been a woman. 8 years. Let that same exact story be a woman. What you think these people, a man like Hood Service said about that woman? He'll call her selfish. He'll say all that what she did, all that money that she accumulated is for no reason, just to give it to a fund to do what? She could have been making children instead of making money. Like all those things would have been said. It's interesting.
I can't speak on behalf of Hood Conservative, and I will not, and you will not drag me into, because I know how you like to do, Shirai. You like those big fights. You like to drag people in those fights to get them kind of, because you like to puppeteer the people.
Hands up, don't shoot. The link is in the description. Hands up, don't shoot. I ain't trying to start now. I'm just going by the words that he's using. That's all. I'm just going by the words that I hear the man is saying. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like even when we come up with when we just look up something real quick, Sugar Bum asked the question, we looked it up, and it seems like it's not looking good for men. He still want to say, well, the women don't want to be held accountable. What? What? I just don't be seeing the angle that
I
they
mean,
see it. I be
brothers have
trying to understand it, ADS. I really do try.
Even women looking for relationships and commitments in Atlanta, right? Because you do have some here that are looking for long-term, stable, monogamous relationships. If you live in a cardboard box and ain't got no job, it's hard for her to kind of set that to the side, right? It's okay because I like you, even though you bring absolutely nothing but cardboard and dumpster diving to the table. You know, so I mean, women get to pick and choose who they desire, right? Especially here. This is probably one of the biggest metropolitans, if not the biggest metropolitan, where I've seen where Black women just thrive. They flourish here. I mean, this is truly a Black woman's town. Atlanta is a Black woman's, territory. It really is. But even in that scenario, if you out here, I mean, but I take that back because I was reading an article some years ago that a homeless dude got picked up, taken home. They happy together now. He just shaved his beard. Oh, it's all new. So I'll go ahead back out of that just for a second, though.
Yeah. I mean, like, even when you see the homelessness, right? Even though you're seeing there's a lot more women being homeless nowadays, but like, hey, man, like, it's an issue. It's a serious issue that men be trying to just skip over because they feel like they're a good man because they just got a job. Like, no, you need more than just a job. You still got to have all the other attributes as well. And I think that's another thing that men try to just excuse, like, well, at least I ain't a bum. I do have a house with a couch and a TV in it and a bed. I got 3 items. Like, bro.
Now, there's several different components to that, right? If you want to break that down. You got GQ, which is how good you look, whatever. IQ, which is how smart you are. And then EQ, your emotional intelligence, right? Those are 3 big categories in that conversation. So with that being said, I think a lot of women, saying that I talk to, at least to run across, I think that they're not horrible people. They just don't want to deal with certain aspects of, being in commitments with Black men, right? Like, for instance, like you said, debt and stuff like that. But I would say this. I think we measure to each other sometimes from too high of a position, right, in life. Like, we've all done so well and did so many things that we can't mess with anybody beneath me. She got to be above me. And in reality, I think we should lower our expectations.
The men or the women?
Both of us do. I think both of us really need to take a good look in the mirror and say, because you got a lot of folks who, and we talk about the wall, but that people is falling over that wall like every day, like by thousands, right? They falling over that wall, they tripping up on that edge. They all know what I'm saying? And this is one of the biggest things to that, is that I'm concerned that we're going to extinguish ourselves because we're so busy looking for these expectations and just at war with each other that time is going to pass everybody by, right? And we're going to lose a couple decades of people.
So you think at this moment the population of America is going to go down drastically until they until they raise the rate of how much they're paying people to have children? Because they're already trying to pay people to have children now.
I think it should be more associated to marriage and children. And then you should get a nice little hard stipend, right, on your tax returns. I would say up to 20K, 30K for newlyweds, right? You have a kid, that's 10 more K, right? I can have 5, 6 more K to that, 10K to that. Giving them that type of start reinforces that, hey, we want to see families flourish and thrive here in America. And can someone finally start bringing down these housing costs?
Yeah, housing costs is ridiculous.
I think that's a huge hindrance in people even thinking about moving in together, right? If I got to pay $3,700 a month we're not talking about mortgage, because mortgage is something else. Rent.
Yeah. Rent is cheaper than the house right now. That's crazy.
It really is. It really is. I mean, that the average what is it, house in Atlanta, from what I was seeing when I was house hunting, what was it, back in May? Because I was trying to buy a house in April, May, right? But it was just the cheapest house I found here in Atlanta, especially out where I live at, was $330,000. That's for me, even the money I make, that's a lot of money over a 40-year span, because you're talking about, I think they was talking about over a fixed 20-year loan, APR at 0 point something or like 3%. It was going to be like almost $4,200, some wild number a month.
Ooh, $4,200.
Yeah.
And that's before you pay any electric bill. The water.
That's besides the bills. Those don't even count in this case. Yeah. Then you add all the rest of that to it. So, I mean, it's getting to the point now to even, have a home, especially if you're starting off, you almost need to be making almost $10K plus, a month. Yeah.
And so they ask a question. So if it's more Black women in the workforce, why would Black women be the ones to lower their expectations?
Because there are Black men in that same workforce.
Not enough of them, though, because that means, so even if every Black woman was dating every Black male that had a job, it's still what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It is still 7 million Black men left over.
I mean, if you exclude the boomers and the silent generation, there's probably about maybe 1 or 2 million left over at that point.
So, that's kind of crazy. So therefore, Black men, if we go by the employment rates, if they stand to be true, right? Unless somebody else could check out the employment rate and see how many Black men are actually employed versus how many Black women's employed, you could change the narrative of what the information is. So Black men need to step their game up so they can make enough money so they can actually get.
Hold up. I think you're giving out a little misinformation there, brother.
Okay.
Because remember, the vast majority of brothers who have kids, if you do the research, don't even have like high-end jobs. And most of them, a lot of them don't have jobs at all, right? That was a statistic too, put out by saying that a lot of cats who got kids, most cats, especially in our community, who tend to have children, especially multiple children, either have kind of low-end paying jobs, or a lot of them don't have jobs at all. Just disappear. It's really a phenomenon, right? That the working man gets overlooked for the guy who doesn't work in our community.
I don't know if that's really true. I don't know if it's true, because regardless, it's 7 million men left over.
But 6 of that is boomer.
So what I'm saying is that if every Black man that is in the workforce right now, we go by the numbers, it's going to be 7 more million women that do not have a man without a job. It's just what it is. And that's if we count everybody that's working. Because I think they're doing it from 16 to 64. So it's kind of hard to really engage. You know what I'm saying? So, but that means that every Black man that has a job, he has a Black woman that has a job. That's 15 million minus 8 million. That means it's still 7 million more women. They're going to have to deal with unemployed men. They have no choice if they want to date Black. That's what the numbers are.
Okay, I got some interesting statistics here that we make. Something of interest. And this is just a Google search.
Yeah.
I don't mean to call out the brotherhood, but we might as well have the discussion, right? We're going to talk. Let's talk.
Shout out to Living Humbly with the Fireboy says, what a do, Sharon. I'm doing well. Thank you. I appreciate you. Support for the show. Be like Living Humbly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Support for the show. Much love. But I got to dip because them chat predators around. Go ahead, ADS.
Should I read, or do you want to bring it up?
You got it.
Okay, so I did just a simple outright Google search for how many Black women are dating unemployed men.
Oh shit.
Just a simple, just a funny search for it, right?
Yeah.
This is what it came back with the AI overview. And excuse my reading. I read well, but I might miss a word.
Okay.
It is challenging to determine the exact number of Black women dating unemployed men, as an official statistic generally focuses on married couples and unemployment rates rather than dating dynamics. However, several studies and reports offer insights into factors influencing these relationships. I'll move down to the next. Why do I got? Can you read with me, Sharon? Do I got to read the whole thing?
I can't see what you got.
I put in the back chat for you, brother.
Oh,
just so you can see it.
My bad.
You ain't want to read it.
My bad. I didn't see it, y'all. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so let's see. Key findings. That's what we was up to. Key findings.
Look at high rates of jobless among Black men. Let's start with that. Where you see that at? Now we're reading this. Let me share my screen. Maybe the Google search came back different on your end. It does that sometimes. The AI search changes from time to time. So I got key findings. Black women's concern about male joblessness. Black women express significant concern about joblessness among Black men, with a large percentage worrying about their partner's ability to find work and the generate of joblessness. Relationship between unemployed and satisfaction. Hey, you know what the crazy part is? A lot of men don't really understand. It's like, hey, the reason why you ain't getting under that nookie is because your woman is tired of you. She tired of taking care of your ass. What's up, Natasha? That's why you don't get none of that good old good. Because a lot of men don't understand that a woman, a partner, man or woman. Dog, kiss my black. Y'all know I can't read. I'm gonna stop teasing me, goddamn it. But that's the main reason why goddamn these men ain't getting none of that goods, because they ain't got no goddamn they ain't got no ambition, they ain't got no job. Even when they go outside and claim that they hustling, they out there still selling Newports on the corner. They out there they goddamn customers is goddamn crackheads and shit. Like, ain't nobody really want to hang out with you like that. You smell like crack, your nails are dirty, you got dirty customers. It's crazy. All right, I'm going to give you something for the Bible thumpers out there, right? That lines up with what they're seeing or what we're seeing. And, I don't put this out there much because, it's brotherhood, right? Mm-hmm. But even Ecclesiastes says, I think it's 25 something. A woman, if something along the lines, if she has to maintain her husband, she's going to be full of anger, imputed, and much reproach. And this is the husband. We're not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. So it just comes to show, if a woman has to take care of you, especially for long stints, and you're not contributing, she's not going to like you. Yes, without a doubt, 100%. And why should she? I'm sorry, but you being born as a man is a privilege that you're gonna have to embrace. It's hard to be a man. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the only way that you're gonna be a great man is by doing the hard things every single day. I don't know if people think that I enjoy waking up at 3:30 in the morning to go do what I got to do, but it doesn't matter if I enjoy it or not. It doesn't matter. Women get protections, men get freedoms. That's for a reason, because a man has to go out and go get it to feed his family. He has the freedom to do so any kind of way he can, any kind of way he wants. And he got to figure out a way to be successful at it too. Because not only that, you're gonna be looking at your kids, and your kids are gonna be your kids is gonna get resentment for you too. Like, they keep trying to make it seem like it's only the woman that she cannot deal with the ills of the world taking care of you. You think if your kids have to take care of your grown ass, you think they're gonna feel nice about it? There is really there are a few ways to get to the point of dissension with the kids than watching mom disrespect dad, right? Because he's lazy, won't go get a job. Kids start to dissent, they start not liking you, right? Think daddy's lazy. He's home all the time. He's always, sitting around here playing games and cooking rice. And, mama has to tell him what he can eat, what he can't eat because, she paying the bills, right?
Damn. Even the kids gonna be doing that to him?
Especially with stepkids, you can feel the disrespect from stepkids, brother. Especially if you in the house and you just kind of mooching off everybody. All those kids will disrespect the hell out of you.
I don't think it's I think if you use those things that what you said earlier, you got IQ, EQ, and what was the third one?
GQ.
And GQ, I think you'd be fine with children and women, right? And you could do all those things because usually when you have all three of those things, you figure out how to get all three of those things. GQ, you might not be born with the best looking face, but if you know how to dress appropriately for your body type and for your face, you got the proper haircut for your face and all those things, you could be still a attractive man, right? IQ can help out with money. It doesn't always correlate, but 9 out of 10 times, I would say 8 out of 10 times, your intelligence do help out with the money you earn. Because usually intelligent people, they wind up acquiring skills that's going to get them money. But you could absolutely be stupid as hell and make tremendous amount of money. You know what I'm saying? But if you have all three, then you have the EQ, you have some emotional intelligence, you would be able to relate. Because, there's plenty of men that mentor children that ain't theirs and they don't treat them with disrespect, right? So it's not always that a step kid is just going to automatically disrespect you because you ain't the daddy. They disrespect you because you ain't doing the right shit. You don't care about them. They can sense that you don't care about them. And therefore, they get that pushback.
I mean, the biggest deal about any type of relationship is getting along, right? Can you get along with the people you're in the house with? Can you coexist? In a lot of cases, you're not trying to outdo the dad if he's there like he's supposed to be, right? They divorced or whatever. You're not trying to take his spot position. You're there, with the mother and to help the kids if you can, right?
Yeah.
Sis, So that's a role to play. And most of that is just simply being able to get along with the kids. You don't have to really do anything. You don't have to be special. You just need to be able to get along, drop them off at football practice, pick them up on time, drop them off at school sometimes, stuff like that. It's really not that hard of a job, but I think people tend to overthink it because they want to add their spin to it. And once they add their spin to it, that's when them kids start to hate them.
Yeah, because it doesn't correlate to what's actually needed for the household, right? You're trying to do something that is not needed. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that part, right? You got to be able to cater who you are as well to your family as well. You got to understand who the people in your house is. It's a lot of person that, it depends how many different people is, because not every child is going to get the same father. It just doesn't work that way. If you got 5 kids, each kid going to get a different father. It is what it is. If you're paying attention to your kids. One kid likes to do skateboarding. One kid likes to do ice skating. You can't treat them both the same. It doesn't work that way. And I think a lot of times men believe that you could just treat all your children the same. It doesn't work that way. Not even close. Some kids you could scream and yell at and they will understand. Another kid, you raise your voice a little bit, they crying. You cannot father that child the same and say, oh, you need to toughen up. No, that child is sensitive. Pay attention to your damn children.
Which brings another perspective, right? I'd say one of my greatest strengths with my son was when I had him in my house raising him, listening. I listened to him very quietly, very carefully. When he's talking, I sit on the couch, I'll turn the TV off and listen to what he has to say. And once I hear it out, then the correction comes if it's a bunch of BS, right?
Yeah.
But I listen to everything he has to say word for word. I let him get it all the way out. And then I'll make a decision. I think a lot of men especially think that they're somehow king of a castle, right?
Right.
Or something. And they're just going to lay down.
Rule with an iron fist. When I say this goes.
Yeah. And in reality, he's a stepdad. You know what I'm saying? she gonna put your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep pissing off the kids. Something as simple as getting along. I'm not saying that's the easiest part because those kids be out to get you too, especially if it's a recent divorce. Oh, they don't want your ass up in there with their mama. But kids will relent, and usually they kind of fall in line. But you just got to really listen to them, right? You got to listen to what the kids is talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to cater your parenting to each child for sure, without a doubt. Without a doubt, you got to be able to pay, and you also got to teach your children, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is. You also got to teach them how to show you gratitude. I don't know this idea where men feel like every woman is supposed to treat every man with a certain type of gratitude. No, each man has their own version of gratitude. My version of gratitude might not be ADS's version of gratitude. It's just what it is. It might not be the same.
My gratitude comes through actions. Pay raise. Thank you, Lord. I just got blessed today.
$75.
Really strong like that. And this is the wild thing about it. You're rich ass, man. You up here ask, brother, my little $5? Really? Hold on.
Yes, that is an order. Congrats to Lord ADS. Shout out to you with the raise. Shows that you are doing work and you have some competence. So that's what's up. Shout out to ADS with the 5-ball. He said, I got a raise, bitches. I got money.
Now, around the house, when it comes to that type of stuff, if you in the stepdad role, for me, when I was in that role for a little bit, a few years in that role, I actually got, stepdaughters. Well, I still claim them and they still call, but
right.
The mothers in both cases are off with different, one of them got married actually, so that's cool. But the two things they remember about me when it came to what I see as gratitude: peace in this house. These girls ain't fighting tonight. And I can go to sleep and I can get alone time with your mama at a decent time. 9:30, 10 o'clock, because at 10:30 her ass is going to bed because she got to be at work in the morning. So if I can get that little 9:30 to about 10, that to me is gratitude, because that gives me 30 minutes to work with, get in, get out, go to sleep, wake up next day, everybody in a good mood, everybody going to work.
Yeah. I think children are delicate. I think a lot of times people, especially when we hear the talking points, a lot of time men feel like as if they have dominion over everything moving, and they feel like they got to rule with an iron fist, which is just crazy to me, that you're gonna rule your household with an iron fist, and these are people that you love, and then when you go outside, you act like a little punk. It don't make no sense to me. Like, how you gonna be super tough in your house and then outside you're a punk? It's crazy. I just don't understand it, Venus. I don't get it. But a lot of men, they preach that they are the toughest dads in the world, the toughest husbands in the world. We know you lying. We see behind the twinkling eye, we can see you sweet, bro.
I mean, even as a stepdad, the girls melt you, man, on the inside, because they are so sweet, right? They brought me candy hearts one time. I was just like almost cried in the living room. I was like, damn, thank you. I didn't know what that even meant.
Right.
Like, girls get at you, man.
Right. Like, why would you be mean to some children that's doing that? That don't even make sense. They showing you love. Why would you be mean? Don't make no sense. I don't understand it for the life of me. Why some, what's the crazy thing about it, ADS, to me? For some reason, men think being mean to women and children is masculine. And in reality, the more grace you could give to women and children to show that, hey, yes, I'm stronger, I'm more powerful and all that. But the fact that you're showing grace to them, that is more appreciated. That's real manliness. That's why we used to take our hats, the so-called take your hat off. It really was about helmets and being war, not bringing war into your household. That's why they used to tell you to take your helmet off before you walk into the house. It doesn't have anything to do with hats, actually. But so, like the fact that you could be this powerful, big, strong man, but yet you are loving and caring and nurturing. That is manly. Literally, their whole idea that these men be saying these quotes that they don't really understand is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So yes, if you are a warrior in a garden, that means you are doing things delicate. You are taking care of flowers. You're not stepping on a flower. You watering it. You nurturing it. You checking on it every single day. So you need to do the same thing in your household. Be a warrior in the garden. There ain't no need for you to pull out your goddamn sword when you're in the goddamn garden. What is wrong with you? You should have grace for your goddamn family.
For a lot of men, it's a defense mechanism, right? It speaks to kind of distrust, you know what I'm saying, for the wife and kids for whatever reason. Maybe they don't trust their judgment. Maybe it feels as if somebody's always trying to overthrow them for whatever reason. Dominion, you know what I'm saying? God did bless us with dominion, but if you have no power and authority, you can't enforce it. I mean, you can force against the birds and cats. You kick a cat if you want to, but when it comes to other human beings, you know, right? There are laws against that. So if you don't have any power authority, there's not much you can really do with that, right? I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, most wars, most situations between human beings aren't resolved through conflict. You know what they're resolved through? Dialogue and trust.
Ooh. You know, that's a very good observation. I think what you said is a very good point, because I don't think a lot of the men, they don't trust themselves. So when I be hearing them talk, I really believe this. Seriously, ADS. They don't trust themselves. So therefore, if they get a girl that is rocking with them when they don't trust themselves, that's why they deem that woman untrustworthy. That's what
Did you ever think to yourself, because me and you both can relate to this, Sharon, that even when you do get a decent woman, a good woman out of the group, that sometimes, especially when you're younger, in our 20s, 30s, maybe even some cases, we just feel unworthy. So we screw it up on purpose to hopefully that she gets out of it. We just feel unworthy. She's too good to us, right? I got to get out of this relationship. She's too good.
Because they don't trust themselves. They know they ain't put in that work. You know, you ain't put in that character. You ain't do X, Y, and Z. And you don't understand why she love you so much. How can she love a piece of ish like you? And this is why a lot of men be messing up their relationship, because they don't trust themselves. It is wild when you hear them talk. You'll literally hear them say this. You literally see that as we keep going, we'll see that it's more and more people that is on the red pill side of things. They getting divorced on a day-to-day basis. And why you getting divorced? Because you do not want to let go of the rhetoric, and then you want to try to tell your wife, "No, I'm not talking about you." So, well, who the F are you talking about then?
That's working both ways too, Sharon. Not just these red pill men, but a lot of these feminist husbands are getting the hell out of these relationships too. Will Smith and had enough of Jada Pinkett Smith. He said he's gonna file papers.
He did?
Yeah, he said he's done. Even though I don't believe him, I just don't believe him. Because if put it this way, if that person has that much control over you that they could put a battery in your back at your award ceremony before you go get your Emmy to go smack a man, that person probably has enough power to pull you back in if you decide that you want to leave. You know, right? I'm thinking they can manipulate that situation too.
So I'm not sure if Will is well, you know, that's they a weird dynamic. They always been like so. They're a strange couple. They're a strange family. Everybody in that family is a little out there. You know, the fact that the mother is still so involved in Jada is a little bit concerning for me. But you know, I agree with Natasha, right? Self-sabotage helping just with immature human beings altogether. Because women do it too. You know, a woman should be with a great guy. And this is why with the red pill have the argument that they want the pookie, right? Because she knows she's a piece of ish as well, right? And so she goes and self-sabotage it and make that good man leave her, right? So women do it as well, ADS. I just think, I believe me and you both believe that men do it more than women. However, it is a great population of women that self-sabotage by cheating and flirting and doing all these miscellaneous things that she know a man is not going to appreciate, and she get herself dumped as well.
I think it's just a people thing, right? Sometimes we get in circumstances, situation with somebody, let's be honest, they're too good for us. They just are. Dang. And you know, they don't see it for whatever odd reason. They don't see it that way, but you see it as clear as day. This person is just a little, you know what I'm saying? This woman that you found, she's a little better than you. Maybe a lot better, right? Damn.
Sorry, I had to go grab something. But yeah, I think the self-sabotage thing is a very strong thing in a lot of human beings. They just have to do it. They don't know how to keep their composure. They gotta do something wrong. They gotta curse the person out. They gotta come home late at night. A lot of that, and it's all because they don't trust themselves, because they know they're not doing the work that they're supposed to do, right? They know they're not moving forward in life the way how they supposed to. They know they sit on the couch way too long. They know they could do a lot more. They know they wasted their time throughout the day. And especially for me, I understand it for my young men to understand, like, hey, listen, you need to get out there and do the hard things in life. That's how you get fulfillment out of life. You get fulfillment out of life by doing the hard things. Anything easy, you are not going to appreciate. It is simple as that. It's just that simple. Most people don't.
Let's not make it too hard or too difficult, right?
No, yes, you got the harder, the more difficult, the bigger the plan. So, like, the harder things is going to be for you, like, the bigger and better the story is going to be.
Hardness does not equate to result.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
So if you do the hard, so you mean to tell me if you go to the gym, you do the hard thing, going to the gym 5 days out of the week, which is difficult, it's hard, you're not going to get any results?
From that particular experiment, just because that's an episode of one of the things that you are right, because that's more than just movement. That's actually gravity, nature, and a bunch of other things. If you move enough, you'll lose weight, right? That's just a thing of gravity and nature. That's a biology thing. But when it comes to plans, right, actual plans, especially complex plans in society to get to certain avenues in certain spaces, not all plans succeed.
Right, that's fine, but that is the purpose of it, right? So you do the difficult thing and don't succeed, then you keep doing the hard thing to figure out why is it not, and then you figure out if it's a plan that you should keep moving forward, or you need to regroup and start something new. But you need to keep moving and doing the difficult things, and two, that thing that is meant for you, you find it, or it finds you. But the only way you're going to find those things by doing difficult things, getting yourself uncomfortable, because being comfortable is not a good place for a man. It's not. You think that you're supposed to have a destination where you just sit on your couch and drink a goddamn beer and watch some goddamn LeBron James? You got life messed up, bro.
Not unless you're a millionaire, because there are plenty of those that do that. But if you're a working man, you should be trying to get ahead at every turn. Advantages matter. They really do.
If you are a millionaire, ain't no stopping. Elon Musk got over $300 billion. That man ain't stopped working yet.
Nigga, if I get $10 million, I'm gonna roll more blunts than Snoop Dogg, nigga, right out in the living room.
Right, that's fine that you do, but that's easy, right? That's easy. You could roll all those blunts now. That's easy, but it ain't gonna get nothing. You're not gonna get anything good out of being high all day.
Well,
we know that.
It depends, right? You know, if you're rich, I mean, do you have? I mean, am I still required to do stuff? Being a billionaire, really? If I decide today that I don't want to do nothing else with my life besides get high, could I not do that and be successful and still leave 10 different generations of wealth? Is that possible?
It usually doesn't. No, I don't think so. That's why Jeff Bezos, even though he got over $300 billion too, he's still working. Warren Buffett, He is well old enough to retire. He got plenty of money. Guess what he's still doing? Working. Like, so I think this is what I think a lot of men need to start thinking about. They always look at as, you know, highly successful people, billionaires and such, and think that they have like a certain trait like them. This is why I think weed is so the common thing that people use. Like, yeah, Elon Musk smokes weed. Or, you know, they find somebody that's very highly successful doing the same indulgence that they have, right? And the problem with that, what you need to really say is like, what do the billionaire have that I don't have? And then you need to work on that skill set. That's what you need to do.
Generational wealth in both cases. Elon Musk got enough money to buy PayPal. People forget that's what he first bought was PayPal, right? And then from there he blew up. You know, Warren Buffett, generational wealth, deep trenches of generational wealth, right? You know, and I can name countless people, even the president you have right now in the United States of America, you know, saying he's a trust fund baby.
Right.
So it's to me, I think it's more imperative right now because we're not thinking like the English, the Scottish, the Germans when they first came to America. Because remember, they were dirt poor, right? Dirt poor when they came here. And what they started doing was building that wealth over generations, right? So now 5, 6, 7 generations later, you know, saying a whole century later, their kids are in better positions, you know, right? You know, they have more astute, they have more of a financial gain, they have more prestige in society, and they have more resources because those were left behind because of accumulation. But I mean, I think that's the most important thing really to success is making sure that your child has the right start in life, right? The right, you know, aperture, right? The right, you know, saying a lot of different things that are right acumen, you know, right? Just because at the end of the day, that's how you really get to the numbers, you know, right? Is being good at something and knowing at a very young age that you're really good at it. You know, NBA players don't even want to go to college no more. Football players, you know what I'm saying? Play at your college. It's finding out what you're good at early on and then building upon that for success. And I think we need to focus on that with our children as well, find out what they're good at, right? Because we're going to have to be willing to sacrifice if we're talking this and we're talking seriously. A couple of generations, that means X and millennials are going to have to really put it out there to build up for us so our kids have. But I don't see that establishment happening at this point. What I see is a bunch of kids who don't learn anything really about life of any importance, except for what they're forced to do, which is school, to their 16, 17, 18 years old, to they're forced to be responsible adults. And then we wonder why we have such a large subsector of Black people stuck in arrested development.
That's interesting. I like it. It's a great start. I appreciate it. And I would love if people would understand that it doesn't matter where you start from, you can still get it. Like, it don't matter where you start from. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter if you had your parents, you did have your parents. If you have a good job, you have a bad job. Like, it don't matter. The only thing that matters is that you keep moving forward. This is why I think doing the hard things matters so much. Because when you do the hard things, good things happen from that. If you,
but not to overtalk you, Sharon. This is your panel. You're the host. I respect that. But it limits your paths to success, right? When I went to school at Holy Cross for a little while, right, in high school, before I got kicked out, what I learned was that
Holy Cross in New York?
No, Kentucky, man. Okay. Yeah. What I learned was that a lot of the white folks there, Asian folks, you know, Indian folks, a lot of them already had multiple avenues and opportunities to success, right? College is calling them. My dad owns a business, stuff like that, right? So multiple avenues to success versus us, most of the time, you know, those who have that resolve in them for whatever reason, which overcome those particular odds, get scholarships and go to certain schools, you know, colleges, and, you know, get degrees. And some of us do well with those degrees, right? Degrees don't guarantee money, but they do guarantee that you've been basically instructed in this for certain discipline. So what I see with them is that they're getting a much better start to a lot of this, right? For us, we have to go in survival mode at age 18. I mean, literally in survival mode, like literally tossed out of the Garden of Eden, right?
Right.
Of course, living, while they already have established paths, like, oh, he's going to college. I've got his apartment paid for the next 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or saying
I understand that, and I think that is a good observation, but it's not I don't think we should allow that to be the reason why we shouldn't push our young men to work hard, because guess what? That young kid, he ain't got that dog like I got that dog. He ain't going to really outwork me. We teach our people like, hey, you just got to outwork everybody. That's how you become successful. It doesn't matter who the person is. It doesn't matter what your color is. It's about your work. The reward is going to go to the hardest working person in the room. It's just what it is. And even
not
though
to the hardest working person,
even though you think you might get slighted here and there, right? But those are supposed to be lessons for you. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a lesson. When you get overlooked, that's supposed to be a lesson. If somebody treats you a certain way because you didn't have that silver spoon, that's supposed to be a lesson for you to have that dog and outwork them. They ain't gonna outwork me, ADS. You ain't got enough dog in you because you got things handed to you. You might have had a goddamn nanny. Ain't no person with no nanny gonna outwork me. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? I came from the trenches. You are not going to outwork me. And I'm not going to lie. I'm willing to lose sleep to outwork somebody. I'm willing to go run 3 miles a day to outwork somebody. I'm willing to go do an hour worth of yoga every day to make sure my body's in tip-top shape so I could go ahead and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning so I could get ahead and grind. Nah, you're not going to outwork me. I don't care where I started from. I started from the bottom. You're not going to outwork me. Absolutely not.
I was going to add to that. It's not about the hardest working man. It's about the smartest working man in this day and age.
Absolutely not.
Mind over matter. That's what it really comes down to. You got to be able to outthink yourself in every situation, right? And to think of plans, agendas to move forward. My job is constructively far more of a mental aptitude than it is physical by far. I mean, I very rarely do anything, at all physical unless I go to a customer or client site, right? And even then, I instruct them on what to do and what I need them to do at that point.
Right. So I think also hard work is right. So now I understand why you're saying, because a lot of times hard work is kind of like synopsis with like doing something physical. Right. And so
exactly.
I don't think hard work means necessarily picking up something, pick things up and put them down. No, working hard is being able to concentrate for 8 hours and actually get things done. And you actually accomplish things. You execute it on your agenda for the day. That is working hard. You're working harder than everybody else. You are architecting these goddamn cloud infrastructures while this person, he's taking 3 days to do it. You're doing it in 1 day. You're doing it in 2 days. That is working hard. But working smart and working hard, it has to be at the same thing, because you have to be smart and hard working at the same time, because Elon is not just a smart worker, but he's a hard worker clearly, because he don't sleep. He's trying to build shit to go to Mars. He ain't stopped working hard.
But that's because of the cocaine. That's no. But you make a good point, Sharon. Excellent point. Because believe it or not, it's not like it used to be where you had this local competition, right? In IT and engineering and college space. I compete against guys over in India for positions, right? I compete against guys over in China in some cases, right, for positions. I compete against Americans for positions, South Americans for positions, Europeans for certain positions, right? Because this whole thing is global. And then, like you said, sometimes you got to be up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, putting in the work to get something done.
Right. And not complain if you didn't get paid today for it, because guess what? You got your raise today, right? So even if you put in extra work, you didn't technically get paid for it at the moment. You put in all that work, people are going to recognize who you are, and the money is going to come. This is what I always tell, especially in construction. I always tell these young guys, like, hey, listen, stop worrying about how much money you make. You just got into this bitch. Do the work. People see you. people respect a person that is going to put in the work and do what they got to do and stop trying to slack off and trying to find cheap and cut corners. We recognize it. Other hard workers recognize the BS worker. You still need the BS worker too, though, right? It's not like we don't know that who's slacking off in the company. I don't know why people think that the boss doesn't know who's the BS worker. The boss absolutely know who's the BS worker.
In most cases, yes, they do. They put it this way, they keep metrics on everything over here.
Come on.
I mean, metrics, especially now with AI and telemetry, that actually, you know, and let's be honest, you know, the vast majority of even my organizations moving to AVDs, Azure Virtual Desktops. If you think they can watch you now, imagine when you're on the virtual desktop in the cloud space, how easy that is to kind of monitor. Especially, you could probably even remotely log into those machines, and there might be a silent function for monitoring, right?
Right. So I don't know why, you know, a lot of people, but you know, that's because a lot of people, they never actually moved up into the higher levels or even started their own company and had to pay people. You know who's doing the job and who's not. And you know, some of the people that's bad workers, you got to keep them too, because they do enough where he's like, all right, I could get him to do the shitty job. The one I need, the person I need to climb up in the ceiling and deal with whatever's, all right, I got you to do that because you the shitty worker. The one that gets drunk and he comes with, like, we know. I don't know why shitty workers think that we don't know that shit. And you know what's the craziest thing about the horrible worker ADS? They the ones that believe that if they was to get fired, the whole company is gonna go downhill. He can't fire me. He need me. I'll be doing everything. No, you don't.
Put it this way: those people already calculated in your work and said, "Okay, we can still cut this out." They've already done that.
They already figured that out. We already figured it out. It's just that you're a decent enough person that we don't want to do that to you because we know it's going to be very difficult for you to get a job elsewhere once you lose this job.
And let's be honest. I mean, every organization needs its superstars, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to engineers, but they also need their bums. They balance things out. They really do.
And so this is why I'm saying that you got to be able to you got to work smart and you got to work hard. It got to be both, because people that are efficient knows who's the other efficient person. They absolutely know. And this is why a lot of the bad workers or the inefficient workers, they think that the bosses and the supervisors are assholes. But the reason why they are so-called assholes is because you just ain't doing your job and they don't really respect you as a worker.
Because they have to protect what they have. They can only protect you so much before others, especially in management positions above them, start to notice that, hey, this person, he called out 4 days in a row and he works from home.
That's funny. That was funny. But yeah, man, like they and for some reason they really believe that the upper echelons don't be done, because they would definitely talk to you like, hey, so what's going on with Josh? Why he hasn't been holding up to this, that, and the third? You know what I'm saying? What's up? That ain't my real cousin. Stop playing. What up, Dragonfly? I thought that was simple. So I was like, wait, what the hell?
Oh, I was about to run the hell up off this panel. Brownsville pop up. I got to go because I know where this is going to go immediately.
Don't be scared.
Oh, you're not going to beat me all night long. You talk about DV with these damn women. I'm about to definitely shut up. But I don't do just, you know what I'm saying, cook my ass, you know what I'm saying, and just chill out and be cool with it. Get the hell up out of here. That was that red button fool. Get the hell up out of here.
But yeah, like people, they absolutely recognize who the person that's slacking off in the company, without a doubt. We know. We see the numbers, we see the statistics. It is what it is. I appreciate you, Dragonfly. Browns Fly Jones. But yeah, man, and I just really would like, and it's not easy though to
You
be
got
out
work
there
to do.
grinding.
You got work to do.
What's that?
You've been back 3 days. Right now, the
Oh,
number's 50. That's not bad for a third day back because people don't even know you're back yet. But you got work, so you need to get to it.
I don't mind. Yeah,
Um,
and nighttime is a different grind too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people it's different. A lot of people at nighttime they want to see everybody on the camera. They want to see the panels. They want to see it's a little different at night. Why if you just chilling in your office, why you not on camera?
Because I come here for conversations and for entertainment. Mm-hmm. I'm not a content creator. Mm-hmm. Why do people need to see my face that don't know my face, right? Because you never know who's in this audience and might say, you know what, ADS, I'm gonna cook his ass. No. I like the avatar, gives me a chance to speak freely. You are a content creator and a host, so you need to be on camera. I think that's fair.
But also, it makes for a better show when they can see us talk, they can see how we communicate, they can see our eyes move, and all those type of things, all the little things that that you need to actually see what communication is. This is why it shows that when everybody's on camera, they do so much better because even when a person is not talking, there's still a lot of communication going on, and people like to see that as well because people like to see human interaction regardless.
People like to go to the zoo. That's what they really like. They want to see, the people communicating, ain't no saying behind fiberglass walls. That's what the internet is, right? Platforms. And that way they can say, oh, look at the monkey. Ain't he cute? I thought banana. Look at me. Oh, he don't poop at me. Oh. Look at the monkey. No.
I think so. I think that does happen. But at the same time, I think people do coming because we're not all able to have these type of conversations outside of our friends, right? Because as we getting older, we start to realize that the person that we always was drinking with ain't really our friend. The person that we was always smoking with, they ain't really our friend. The person I might work with all day, goddamn, and that's my work wife, work husband, whatever, that ain't really my friend. And because you don't really have real conversations. And so when we come to the internet, we starting to be able, as real people starting to really get on the internet, right? We want to see that, hey, we are able to have conversations about these thoughts that I have that I cannot have with my family members or my so-called friends. And I think that's what's really is. It's not really about the zoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so, Sharon. If you say so, I respect your perspective, but I think it's monkeys flinging poo at the zoo and you try to put me in a fiberglass cage. You know what I'm saying?
I think if you act zoo-ish, then it's gonna happen. Some people they just act like they zoo-ish and then they want to try to blame everybody else for they actions. Like, no, like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you act for real. And that's another thing too, ADS, right? A lot of men, as we see, they would jump off the rails, and all the women as well, right? Whoever. They'd jump off the rails and they would act like it's somebody else that made them jump off the rails. No, it ain't. It don't got nothing to do with nobody else. That's you. You chose to do that. Whatever trauma, whatever somebody said to you that triggered that crazy emotion that you got to go and start saying a whole bunch of craziness. Like, we barely cursed today, and we have a nice solid, good conversation. We got jokes. We saying some gems. We saying some jewels and everything. We having a good time. It's a real podcast. It sounds like something that you can listen to on your way home when you don't feel like listening to goddamn music all the goddamn time.
Let's start with this. YouTube is an emotional dumping ground. It really is. When people have a bad day at work, they get on YouTube and they yell at other people. This is like an emotional, this is where people go to get their stuff off. That way they can go back to their lives and be normal, I guess, right? For the most part. But you want to light it up? Let's spark it, right? What do you think about Diddy? I'm going to light it up.
Well, what happened with him recently? What's the latest on him?
They said they're going to give him from what I was hearing, you know what I'm saying, they said that they trying to pile some additional stuff on, right? Like some stuff at the end with the sentencing, some other stuff like that. But from what I was reading in the article, the judge said something to the effect of September 22nd.
September 22nd, what's gonna happen? He gonna get sentenced or he gonna get free?
I don't know why the judge put emphasis on September 22nd unless he planned to swimming in women with their own condominiums.
You know what?
5+5.
You know, that's one of the main reasons why I didn't really cover the Diddy case when it was like really out there and all that. And I know a lot of people was getting numbers off of it. I didn't understand what the state was trying to do. I didn't understand it. I'm like, hey, listen, yes, we all think that he's a monster, but what are you putting him in, criminal court for? Like, and all they was showing was that he was beating up Cassie and that he was having wild butt naked sex and everything, but I didn't understand the criminal part that they were trying to do. The RICO case that they had was just weak as hell. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it, and that's why I didn't cover it, because I'm like, hey, listen, the feds is dropping the ball on this one. They not. I don't know if he did such a good job of getting rid of the evidence, whatever evidence that he got rid of, that maybe he got rid of the smoking gun, and that's why he was willing to put up the $50 million, because he knew he got rid of the smoking gun. Whatever it was that they was trying to find when they raided his house, they ain't find it. But they had to save face and they tried to execute him anyway, and it just didn't work, because that was the weakest RICO case I ever seen. And RICO cases are usually not that difficult to pin on somebody.
I'll say this, that you're right, it was bourgeois from the beginning. I think they were looking for information on someone else in the White House they thought he might have had, or someone, maybe they had a lead on it, right, of some sort, that if something was there,
it was something
wasn't there. So then they had to follow through on this case. They just can't dismiss these charges, right? I mean, that looks really bad if you just outright dismiss the charges, especially, because you didn't find anything. That looks horrible in the public eye. So they follow through on it. They present the evidence. I think they even they put a little faith in the women. Oh, good luck with that. These gold diggers. It was more, to me, it was hilarious kind of listening to the testimonies, especially 50 baby mama. I said, oh, bro, you got half price, half off. She had for 20K, got 10. And then
well, like I said, I really didn't follow it, because I didn't see how they was building the case made sense. I'm like, this don't make no sense whatsoever. They proven everybody right, and it's gonna make it seem like Diddy is this victim from the government that he been chasing. He's no victim at all.
There are no innocents in this case.
And that's the main thing. ADS, that's the main thing I didn't like about this case, is that it's going to make it seem like he is a victim and they went after him, when this man he did some wild things. He's a dangerous man. And it's just sad that they're not going to be able to get him for the dangerous things that he's done, because they tried him for something that is ridiculous at the end of the day. The RICO didn't make no sense. Or they just couldn't get the smoking gun. They thought they had it. It ain't there. You know what I'm saying? So it's either one of the two. So that's the only thing I don't like it. So when if he gets out to be free or whatever's going to happen, and because he still might go to jail for 10 years, right? He still got to get sentenced?
Yeah, he got his sentencing coming up here, right? So that's something to look out for. They were right not to count him bail, because I think Diddy would have caught the first flight to Bora Bora the hell up out of here. I mean, the first flight. I mean, right? Don't even just fly me there and just bring my stuff to me. Right? That type of flight. But it's the Mann Act. So this is what, and this is going to ring a bell with both of us, I think, in relation, right, Sharon?
Okay.
The Mann Act was originally put in place because of, I think it was Joe Johnson, right? Remember heavyweight champion Joe Johnson, or was it Joe Jackson? I forgot which one it was.
Johnson.
Yeah. Remember, he married a white woman back in the days before it was legal, and it pissed off a lot of the people out there in the woods. So when he was trying to carry her state for state, they created that law and were able to arrest him on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that, you know, I think in relation to years, I'm not sure if he'll get any time for that, just based on that alone, right? The circumstances and the perception of how that looks in the public eye. So September 22nd might be all he does, and then he gets to go wherever he goes from there, right? Home.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely try to use it against Jack Johnson, but also at the same time, they switched it up a little bit because it's about transportation of women across like state and international borders for prostitution, right? So that's what the Mann Act is, correct? I'm not.
Yes. That's that. Yeah, that's correct.
And so, I mean, he is guilty of that. That's for sure, right? He's been moving prostitutes all across the world.
You know,
and it's different and different genders too, right? It ain't just women he was doing. Hey, listen, man. Hey, ADS, I've been trying to tell these men for a long time, like, hey, listen, a lot of y'all mentors and the heroes that y'all love and all that, they are, I don't know why y'all mad at Barack Obama, because y'all already had gay mentors and role models anyway.
I mean, you know, my role models was Bill Cosby.
Too soon.
No. You're right, because people don't understand that there are so many entertainers out there that people don't even realize that aren't even they're part of the other community. I'll say it in a nice way, right? They're in their own separate little culture, you know, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's really nothing wrong with it at the end of the day, right? What you do in your private time is what you do in your private time. If somebody's going to help you with your career, let them help you with your career. Hey, as long. Go ahead. I was going to throw a little joke, but no, I ain't going to do it. Go ahead.
I try to stay away from that too right now. I know it's very sensitive, so I want to stay away from that for a little bit, right? But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Just because someone portrays a certain role on television or behaves a certain way on stage doesn't make that person who you think they are in relation to who you think they are, right? You think this dude's a gangster thug, he came from the streets, sold drugs, happened to pop out with this, album, all of a sudden he'd blown up. No, that nigga went to prep school. Somebody else wrote his whole lyric, his whole catalog, and he's rich.
Yeah,
he's putting on the act for you. When he gets off that stage, I don't want to say it, but it might, backstage might not be the groupies you think they are, right? It might be
hey, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So like, hey, it is very true that the Mann Act was originally kind of like used against Jack Johnson because he was into brothels and white women, and so they just got mad that he liked white women, and they mad that he was making money and he was going all over America, using them for doing what he do. He enjoyed doing it. So they did come into a law and they used that against him. And now it seems like that's why I'm saying it's going to look like Diddy is being a victim. Oh, he's the new Jack Johnson. Yeah, he beat her up, but he didn't do what they did. And then, it's going to be this whole BS rhetoric where it's like it kind of gets swept under the rug that Diddy was a goddamn crazy person.
They both were crazy people. They both own drugs. Both own drugs.
Two drug addicts.
And people have
another woman being held accountable.
I was going to say, people have no idea how bad girls really are, right? Cassie a bad girl. Girl.
She's a bad woman. Don't have her as a representation of women.
I mean, but bruh, I know what I'm saying, the freaky stuff, I want men to actually come outside and say that, that they wouldn't kick it with Cassie. Don't lie. If Cassie called 99.9% of these niggas up and said, I want you to come through. What's that nigga's name she called up? She used to call up all the time. What's that nigga? Punisher. Yeah, she called you up and put that Punisher on your ass. You ain't gonna hop in the whip and take your ass off down that way. Don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real.
But also I don't think she was. I think Diddy introduced that slowly into her. He taught her how to do that. So that's the only weird thing. So she is technically, in my opinion, she is partially a victim too, because that's what happened. She got introduced to a lifestyle that it's just not meant for regular human beings, and you get caught up in that lifestyle. Like, I mean, he was,
Sharon, from the story that they told us, Diddy licked her tweet one time, nigga, and Ron Leslie was, I mean, that nigga was done. He was fin. She left that nigga alone after that. He licked that tweet one time. Now, I can see if it's been an ongoing thing. They've been playing around a year and a half behind Ryan, back, this, that, and other. One time. He licked that tweet one time, and that shit was over.
Yeah, but I still think Cass, even though she played a major role in it as years went down, I still believe she's a victim in this whole situation. I mean, Diddy was around her when she was 16, 17, and if he waited until she was 18 tops, right? But she was very young. She was a teenager when Diddy started messing with her, and probably an illegal teen at that, giving her drinks and drugs way before she is able to start drinking in the first place. Damn sure shouldn't be having no drugs. And that's why I'm saying she is absolutely, in my eyes, a victim, even though 10 years later on down the line, she started to do whatever because, you know, hey, trauma do some weird things to people.
I think that I think you just had two people who were. One thing we talk about is men, right? And our control mechanisms and how we do things physical. We'll get physical to control some shit. Now, you never get physical with your woman. You never do that. You're never supposed to do that, right? But with another man face to face, we'll get physical to control some shit with another man. We don't have a problem with that, right? For the most part, especially if he's in our way of doing some shit that's, you know what I'm saying, tends to be harmful or whatever, right? We don't have a problem with it. Pisses off, hell. You know what I'm saying? We'll jump in another man's face. So we underestimate the women that are that way too. There are some women out there, man, that don't have a problem with whooping your ass. I mean, they don't got a problem with that at all. I mean, hand-to-hand combat, if you want to fit, if you want to put them up, you know what I'm saying? Let me see what you got, you know what I'm saying? And they'll take your ass round for round. I think Cassie was attracted to that because she was kind of that way too. They were really a good match for each other. They were just too damn high to realize it, I think. And now this is what comes of it, right? You can't tell me you're with somebody 14, 15 years and you don't marry them, Diddy? Just put a bun in her. We think Alex got 3 kids. It's not because she crazy about Alex like that. It's because Diddy wouldn't do it.
Or he couldn't do it because he wasn't the one really popping her off like that in the first place. He enjoyed watching instead of actually doing, right? And no, I'm sorry, Rondé, but you are absolutely wrong. Cassie was definitely not of age. He met her before she was 21, and he was already giving her alcohol. So maybe she wasn't a 16. I don't have no proof that she was 16, but I definitely know for a fact that she wasn't 21. That's a fact. She might not have been underage to, where she's illegal to be with, but she was definitely not underage to be drinking and having definitely drugs and all those type of things. So yes, she was underage, sir. And that's how he was able to groom her to what she is today. Because, millionaire, he was fame, power, all these other, come on.
And now she's a millionaire.
Hey, I guess it was worth it at the end.
It was definitely, for that particular piece of it. But I still am very concerned about Cassie, right? Even though she's turned over a new leaf, in these circumstances, situations. Her mental state and well-being, especially after this trial, having to expose so much of her life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? she might need to make sure that she gets some therapy after that, to make sure she gets that all
Hey,
out
man.
with somebody behind the doors or something.
The husband needs some goddamn therapy too, goddamn shit. Because goddamn, how many times we had conversations about like, hey, if you knew what your woman did before you, you probably wouldn't be with her. Well, he knows.
Of most of it. There's probably a couple of things they ain't talk about on the stand, like maybe the donkey show or horse or some wild shit like that. But for the most part, yeah, it does kind of it does kind of sober you up real quick when you hear about, saying, niggas pissing in your wife's mouth. I mean, multiple niggas doing it at the same time. I mean, that's some wild shit that you've been kissing her every year for the last 4 5 years. I mean, wake up, good morning, baby. How are you? Did you brush your teeth?
Well, I mean, I don't think so I mean, as long as she's a clean person, I don't think that like, hey, you did it whenever that, I'm pretty sure, like I wouldn't think of it like that, but it's just the fact that hey, that'd be a lot for me. I ain't gonna lie. And I agree. AC is like, it's one thing that right? And then we always say this, another thing that we say often too, right? A lot of people could deal with even knowing that their woman is promiscuous, or even if their woman is cheating, and vice versa with the man as well, right? If it's a secret. It's one thing if everybody knows that your man or your girl is out there slinging that thing. That's a whole different. When the whole public know your man or your woman is out there slinging that thing.
Woo. See, but Alex is smart. He knows one thing. Before him and Cassie got married, he was making $100K a year. Now she's worth $23 million. You think I'm going to leave her because of that? No, he's not going nowhere. Papoose ain't going nowhere.
ADS is talking proud for all the homosexuals out there. Like, hey, look, you better get you one. You better get your Shakari Richardson and let her beat up on you, or you
take that ass whooping. You do it for the team. Sometimes you got to take one for the team. Do it for the future.
What? Hold on. Softman United. I be trying to tell my boyfriend that when he asks to see me with other males, I tell him it's different seeing it in person. What is Softman United talking about? You gonna have to do some explaining.
Yeah, Sharon, I'm gonna go. Well, that's an interpretation. I don't sound like you know what? I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna do those 10 or more push-ups. I'm gonna walk 15 or more minutes one way, 15 or more minutes the other way. Well, one way on the treadmill. And then I'm gonna enjoy my evening. Thanks for having me up, Sharon.
Ooh, God damn. Softman United said, hey, to each his own. You do your damn thing, and if I don't know. Yeah, me personally, I wouldn't want to know. I don't know if I could be. I mean, 23 million is a lot of money. She is pretty. I mean, they got kids now, so I guess it don't matter. So clearly, he's able to deal with it. He's a bigger man than me. I don't know if I was goddamn Cassie's husband, I don't know if I'd be able to deal with it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think I'm that healed. I ain't that healed. I'm sorry. Y'all see what I be going through on this goddamn YouTube. Imagine, man. But then again, with 23 mil, hey, you can kind of get out of the public eye in a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Go to another country. I don't know. But back to this whole Beyonce versus Sydney Sweeney situation. I really believe that we do need to pay attention to the things that when companies are trying to be offensive, we should be offended. We should speak up about it. And we should not allow them to just trigger us back and forth where we just say, hey, We don't pay attention to it. That's number one. Number two, Beyonce, they need to leave that woman alone. She ain't trying to be like no goddamn Marilyn Monroe. I could get the other reference, and I guess any woman that's at a high level that has a beach blonde or whatever kind of hairstyle it is, I guess we're going to compare it to Marilyn. But goddamn, I ain't gonna lie, Beyonce was looking really nice in the Levi's ad. I give her that. I ain't gonna lie to you. She looked great. And for Megyn Kelly to say things like Beyonce has a fake career, she got a fake body, she got a fake this. I cannot believe Megyn Kelly said some craziness like that. Like Megyn Kelly, you literally said it's okay to have blackface on. And then you mad at a, come on. It's just insane. Now we can allow companies to have eugenics commercials on TV and in newspapers. Nah, I'm sorry, American Eagle. It's not cool. And as for the internet being all about holding black women accountable, it's some black women we can hold accountable. Shakari Richardson, she needs to be held accountable for putting her hands on somebody for whatever. We don't know the reason yet. But you should keep your goddamn hands to yourself. Man and woman, keep your hands to yourself. Do not put your hands on nobody. God damn it. If I was that young man and I was able to give him advice, I'll tell him he needs to leave. I think Shakari, she would move past this situation. I think she's going to learn from it. I don't think she's going to continue making the same mistakes that she just did, because she's clearly shown in the past that she's able to learn from her mistakes. She got caught smoking weed. She took accountability for it, and she became the number one runner in the world again. So hopefully she'll learn from this mistake and become a better human being for it. However, if I was that dude, she ain't going to be doing it with me. All you got to do is whip my ass one time, God damn it. But it's a little bit harder when they're both young. It's not so easy to just leave somebody that you've been with for 2 years when you're young. So hopefully they can get to figure it out. If I was him, I will leave that situation alone. I think she's going to be fine as she gets older and she has more maturity. I don't think she's going to keep on abusing people. I think hopefully she'll get healed for whatever that trauma was. And she's going to be good for the next human being that she be with, whether it's a man or a woman. I don't know. Introverted, hey. That is definitely a strong, I would say you are right for thinking in that direction. Maybe he's not, but you should definitely think. That's it, Tasha, right? Somebody put your hands on you. I'm sorry, but I have to leave. You're going to have to get better without me. Hopefully the next person you be with, you be healed from whatever trauma you did or you going through. But you ain't going to go through that with me anymore. So that's my only issue with the whole Shakari Richardson thing. Is that, hey, listen, I think she is a very accountable human being, but I think homeboy needs to leave. And just like that, I'm going to leave too. God damn it. I'm going to eat some dinner. I got an hour of yoga. I try to get to sleep by like 9:30. Wake up at 3:30. You know what I'm saying? AC said, yes, he is. All right, so, we're doing the late night stuff now, anywhere between 5 and 6 o'clock. I'm going to try to keep doing my thing, build the nighttime joint back up. We back to having fun and good times and having good conversations, not just nonsense conversations. Let's get back to it. I'm going to get back into my political bag as well. And we're going to keep on building. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate y'all. Deuces. See you later. And just remember,
don't get mad at me, nigga. I'm here telling the truth. If somebody else should have told you this.